welcome to the ACHA Semifinal Pregame Show. I'm Thomas. That is Ryan. We're going to set you up for this game between the Iowa State Cyclones and the University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines. And Ryan, let's go ahead and start out talking a little bit about the Cyclones. They come into this one having beaten Stony Brook by a score of 4-0 and beating Ohio by a score of 3-2 as they have played in back-to-back days.
Yeah, and that Ohio game yesterday was absolutely electric. The Cyclones went down early, but Tony Uglum came up huge. He had 2 goals, including the game winner. They've just battled a tough Ohio team. Ohio's really physical, but Iowa was able to kind of keep them, or I should say Iowa State, sorry. Yep. Iowa State was able to keep them alongside the boards, held off about 9 minutes with a pulled goalie at the end there for the last 2. Ohio was bringing it to them. Iowa State did not bend. They didn't break. They're here. They're looking to pull off a big upset today.
Yes, they are. And to do it, you mentioned what their leading scorers have done, especially Uglum, but they've gotten some help from Jackson Granlund. Here's a guy who scored 2 goals in 15 regular season games. He's got 2 goals in this tournament. You know, heroes are made at all levels during national championships, during tournaments, during final runs. We could be looking at one here.
Yeah, and you can throw away the statistics from the regular season because these are the games that count, and these are the games where, you know, a guy like that can come off of the bench typically.
Save percentage. Both of those are the best in the tournament. Meanwhile, Thomas Proudlock, he was 20-1 on the regular season, only gave up basically 1.5 and had a 9.38 save percentage. In this tournament, 2.5 and 9.19. So a little bit of a difference there, a little bit of a flip.
Yeah, both goalies are going to need to play unreal tonight. Godecki's been great for the Cyclones, and with the University of Michigan-Dearborn firepower, they're going to be bringing it. He's going to be tested tonight. As far as Proudlock, we've kind of seen him struggle a little bit with rebound control so far. He's got a great defense in front of him. He's got that offensive firepower. Look for more of the same, but he's going to have to play just as well. It's going to be a battle on both ends with some really good offenses.
Yeah, and it's a great point that you bring up about good offenses. 14 different players have points for Dearborn. You've probably dressed 19, right?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
You've probably dressed 19 total, and you've got 14 players that have points as they have knocked off Oklahoma 6-1 and Davenport 6-1.
Yeah, just looking at some of the names that jump off the sheet. You got Tyler Grote, Bouchard, Brock, Hodgson, all these guys with multiple points. These guys are fast. They attack you in transition, they create turnovers, and most importantly, they finish. They put the biscuit in the basket. It's insane to watch these guys. So the Cyclones are going to have to play good D, keep them outside, and minimize those shot counts because Michigan-Dearborn is going to be coming with everything you got.
Yeah, that's what we should expect. And one more thing we want to throw in, you mentioned Michael Hodgson. 2 goals in this tournament. He's kind of the unsung hero as he scored just 10 goals in 21 regular season games, 2 goals in this tournament, one of them being a game winner. So quite impressive work there. Folks, we've got you all set up here. We're going to go ahead and send it over to Casey, Sam, and Boz as they are going to take over the broadcast here on the ACHA Network.
Two high-powered offensive teams. Let's start with the University of Michigan-Dearborn. They outscored opponents this season by a whopping total of 149-40 in the regular season, and it all starts with the active leader in the ACHA National Tournament in points. That's number 91, Tyler Grote.
Yeah, Tyler Grote. It was Ryan Jones yesterday who said on the intermission report, take away the R and name him Tyler Goat. At least he has had a phenomenal impact on this tournament, leading the scoring here in the ACHA Division I Men's National Tournament. But here's the thing, it's more than just Grote. This entire team can get involved and have a big way of leading this University of Michigan-Dearborn side.
Going from Dearborn to Iowa State, they have a guy who can score at a moment's notice as well. That's number 7.
Yeah, that's Tony Uglum, who had 3 points yesterday, 2 goals and 1 assist. He led this team over Ohio in a big win to find themselves here in the semifinal against Michigan-Dearborn.
There was a story of upsets yesterday. If the Cyclones want to upend the number 2 team in the country, what do they have to do?
Get a fast start and get out to a great speed and move the puck as well as they can.
The Cyclones, coached by head coach Jason Fairman, the Dearborn Wolverines, Christopher Haltener. The Wolverines looking to win their first national championship. The Cyclones looking to win number 2 in their 27th all-time appearance in the ACHA Division I National Championships. We send it down ringside to public address announcer Andy Storrs.
Good afternoon, parents and hockey fans and fans watching the live webcast on the ACHA YouTube network. Welcome to the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas for the 2019 American Collegiate Hockey Association Men's Division I National Championship Tournament, hosted by the Frisco Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Dallas Stars, and the Children's Health Star Center Ice Rinks. This is ACHA Public Address Announcer Andy Storrs. National semifinal game number 1 today features on the visiting bench the number 5 ranked Iowa State University Cyclones. And on the home team bench, the number 2 ranked University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines. Welcome to starting lineups for this afternoon's national semifinal game number 1. First, for the visiting bench, the Iowa State Cyclones in goal, a senior from Ankeny, Iowa, number 35, Matt Gedeke. On defense, a sophomore from Northfield, Minnesota, number 4, Max Olson. On defense, a senior from Calgary, Alberta, number 6, Nick Sandy. At center, a sophomore from Red Wing, Minnesota, number 18, Dylan Goggin. On left wing, a freshman from Park Ridge, Illinois, number 22, C.J. Banzer. And at right wing, a senior from Skokie, Illinois, number 9, Trevor Sabo. The head coach of the Cyclones is Jason Fairman. His assistant is Scott Isman. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the home team bench. The Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines in goal, a junior from South Bend, Michigan, number 34, Thomas Bradley. On defense, a senior from Canton, Michigan, number 6, Troy Saunders. On defense, a junior from Metamora, Michigan, number 57, Kyle Schnettler. At center, a junior from Trenton, Michigan, number 7, Justin Dodd. At left wing, a senior from Riverview, Michigan, number 22, Andrew Spiegel. And at right wing, a senior from Trenton, Michigan, number 15, Kevin Bishard. The head coach of the Wolverines is Chris Haltener. His assistants are Rick DeSanto, Michael Scarpello, and Rich Gauthier. Team manager is Karen Weaver. Strength conditioning coach is Todd Montroy. Ladies and gentlemen, would you all please rise at Kyler Duval Caps and join me soloist Andy Storrs in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner. Oh, say, and you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the pale
officials. National semifinal game.
It's number 2 University of Michigan-Dearborn against the number 5 Iowa State Cyclones, a rematch of the 1992 ACHA Division I National Championship. Casey Roll with you high above the ice from the Comerica Center in downtown Frisco, Texas, alongside Sam Fleming. Partner, we take a look at the last time the Cyclones took the ice yesterday against Ohio. Something that stood out to me, the Cyclones are the only team left in the tournament who has been outshot at any point in any game they've played. They were outshot yesterday by the Bobcats 38-35.
But when you look at that for Iowa State, they're very effective on the chances that they have. They don't get as many shots on goal, but they do put away a good amount. They had 2 pretty solid wins, a convincing win on the first day against Stony Brook, and then that big win against Ohio. For Iowa State, though, they're going to have to try to put plenty of shots on Thomas Proudlock. We talked about his rebound control a little bit in the Davenport game yesterday. Look to see if Iowa State can scoop up some of those rebounds.
Dylan Doggin and Justin Dunn skate up to the faceoff dot, and it's won by Dunn. The Wolverines skate it from left to right to open up play. Holding it down to left side, Andrew Spiegel. A centering pass deflects off the blocker side of Matt Godecke, who sports a 93.2 save percentage in tournament play. It's whipped down to the near side. Troy Saunders first to the puck. He smacks into the high slot. It's pickpocketed away by the Cyclones. Doggin lobs it down behind the net of Thomas Proudlock. And Sam, you mentioned it, he has been phenomenal.
Yeah, Proudlock's played pretty well for Michigan Dearborn Wolverines. Apologies to any Michigan fans out there watching for the confusion, but he has played phenomenal in net. Strong goaltender.
Grote dances below the left circle. Backhand shot on net. Gloved down by Godecke to stop play. And with 19:15 remaining in the opening period, no score. We send it now to the third member of our broadcast team, Boz Echevarri. Apologize, we'll get Boz's headset fixed here in a moment. It'll be a face-off in the Dearborn attacking zone to the right of Godecke. It's Dunn taking a draw, who leads the Wolverines in goals scored this season, the regular year, with 25. And smack behind the net, playing it near side, Colton Kramer. He backhands it out to the red line, scooping up on a backhand, Aaron Azevedo. Drop feed into the high slot, Uglum a shot, chested down by Proudlock to halt play.
And that's another player for Iowa State you're going to have to keep your eyes on, Aaron Azevedo, who had 2 points yesterday, a goal and an assist, along with the 3-point performance from Tony Uglum. Those are the 2 players for the Cyclones that are going to have to take over this game if they want to try to beat the Wolverines.
And Sam, something else that's big, especially in hockey, who can score first, something these defenses have not allowed through 2 games in tournament play.
And that's a big stat to have. When you have not let goals in the first period, that just talks about how strong your defense is. So whose streak will break, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll have a shutout period with how both of these goaltenders have played strong throughout this tournament.
Dearborn and Iowa State combining to outscore opponents 4-0 over the first 20 minutes, so a very defensive-minded approach for both sides. Face-off won by the Cyclone. That's whopped in by Jackson Growler behind the net. Whipped over to the near side. Chase Best controls in the corner for the Wolverines. He plays it out in front of the net. Zachary Nichols clears the zone.
And that's the thing about Michigan-Dearborn. They've got some great speed. They have to clear the zone here early, but watch for the stretch passes with the Wolverines. Guys like Tyler Grote can be big on that stretch passes we see right here to Grote.
Grote at the red line, pins the puck to the wall, gallops into the attacking zone right side, and an offside is whistled as Michael Hodgson was the guilty party skating past center.
I think this is one of these games that'll be interesting to see who can get the faster start like we were talking about in the pregame. If it's Michigan-Dearborn, you do not want to get in a track meet with this team. They've got a lot of speed and a lot of depth on their lineup. I think for the Wolverines, they're going to have to just stretch the ice. For Iowa State, they've got to keep their game simple.
Hunter Dolan whacks the puck down the far side. Stick free by Jacob Erickson. Working out to the right point, looking for Uglum at the flex wide. And it's corralled by Kurt Hallbach in the defensive zone. Forecheck on by the Wolverines. It's John Barlow playing it to the high slot over towards Tyler Dalton. Dances below the far side. Saunders can't keep the zone.
Yeah, and that was a good chance for Michigan-Dearborn to set something up and try to have the first real good advantage of the hockey game. Good defense from Iowa State and a forced mishap. That's what you're going to have to do with Michigan-Dearborn if you are the Cyclones. Try to force some turnovers and some miscommunications, maybe to let them in this game.
Barlow backhands it behind the net, and it's called as an icing, touched up by Nicholas Sandy. The Wolverines in the regular season averaging just over 5.7 goals a game. They have outscored opposing teams in total by a 12-5 margin through 2 outings.
That's an impressive margin, and exactly why you do not want to let this team get the first goal of the game or get any momentum that will carry them to even another goal. We saw 3 consecutive breakaways in that Davenport game, and the third one eventually led to a goal for Michigan-Dearborn. So a fast team, a really strong shooting team, just an all-around good team are the Wolverines.
Winning the puck in the far side, Goggin pins it to the end wall, kicking it along the far half boards. It's C.J. Banser trying to win the puck. He scored the goal in the first game for the Cyclones a couple days ago. He plays up the far half wall, holds at the hash mark, a wrist shot deflects off a body and pins up to the high glass. It's corralled down the far side. Troy Saunders, can he clear the zone? He cannot. Past an aggressive Iowa State forecheck, and finally Tyler Dalton clears it. He gallops ahead past the red line, whips one on net. Pad save by Gedeke, and here come the Cyclones.
Yeah, and Iowa State's going to have to settle down a little bit here. We can see Michigan-Dearborn starting to take a little bit of control as the puck's deflected up and out of play. But for Iowa State, a team that has won a national championship, even though it's been a while, 1992, you talked about this matchup, 27 years in the making, the first ever national tournament final was between these two teams. Michigan-Dearborn looking for a little bit of a revenge 27 years later.
Matthew LaForest, the freshman from St. Clair Shores, Michigan, taking a face-off for the Wolverines against Aaron Azevedo, who has 3 points in a national tournament, which includes a couple goals.
Yeah, Aaron Azevedo and Tony Uglum both with a couple goals. 2 solid players, as I talked about earlier. Here comes Uglum right away.
Gallops past the red line, gets pinned off the far wall by Connor Cunningham. The puck caroms him into the Dearborn bench to stop play. A face-off comes out to neutral ice.
And you got to like the energy from the Dearborn bench feeding off that hit. That's going to be key to see, too. Who will be the first team to really get the most physical? Because we've seen physicality has actually played in the favor of the winning teams in this tournament.
Just under 4 minutes gone in the opening period. 2 combined shots. 1 for Dearborn, 1 for the Cyclones. Cunningham controls off the faceoff, backhands it off the high glass. It's sticked up high, but no high sticking by Andrew Spiegel. And it's bounced up and into the Catawalk far side.
Had a couple stoppages here pretty quickly on. We've already had about 8 faceoffs in this game, 4-4 between these two teams. It's a good matchup in the faceoff circle. That's one of the key 50-50 puck battles we've talked about, Casey, in all of our calls together. If you win the faceoff advantage, you have a pretty good shot on winning the hockey game.
And it's something Dearborn controlled yesterday against Davenport. A tight contested match. It was a 6-4 win, but the last 2 goals scored by the Wolverines were empty netters, so the Panthers, the number 7 team in the country, able to keep up with the Wolverines, ranked at number 2. It's Max Olson, the sophomore from Faribault, Minnesota, quarterback in the offense. He stretches the pass toward the far side. Jackson Grolum clashes off his stick. It's skied up the high wall by Silas Johnson for the Wolverines. It caroms down the near side. Dug out by Justin Paulson. The sophomore out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, has an assist in this postseason. A stretch pass looking for Uglum. He wins the race to the puck down the far side. Dug out and flagged down in the far corner. He one-hands it over towards Tommy Hansen. Hitting the puck to the wall. He muscles it along towards Colton Kramer, whips it back over to the far side. Dylan Goggin can't keep the zone. It's backhanded down the far wing. A shot on net, stick aside and skated aside by Nick Azarowitz. And here come the Wolverines, skating down the near side. Spiegel, a centering pass, deflects off a stick in front. Another rebound off the stick of Bichard, deflects to the near corner, and a big save made by Gedeke out of the benches.
Nice save from Gedeke. A good chance there from Michigan-Dearborn. Their first really good quality scoring chance on only their second shot of the game.
Best lobs the puck behind the net, and it's corralled by the Cyclones with Aaron Azevedo. He lobs it down the length of the ice, a skittering puck controlled behind the net, and it's called as an icing.
You got to think with these semifinal games, of course, these teams have played a lot of games here in this tournament. Again, Michigan-Dearborn in their 3rd game, Iowa State, I believe, in their 4th game of this tournament. So this is actually it's just their 3rd game as well. This is a very, very tiring tournament atmosphere, but both these teams seem to be refreshed early on.
A shot by Saunders, swatted toward the far corner. A redirect in front, and it's covered up by Gedeke at the edge of the crease.
And Matt Gedeke is going to have to be a guy that's played stout for this Iowa State team on the back end, because Michigan-Dearborn is going to throw a lot at the net. They've got some great shooters on this team, including this line out here with Tyler Grote, one of the best shooters on the Dearborn team and in this national tournament.
Gedeke, the senior transfer from Midland University in the ACHA Division III conference. A 96 save percentage in this postseason tournament. It's backhanded out of the zone by the Cyclones by Nicholas Sandy. A matchup of some of the top goalies in the country. Thomas Proudlock for the Wolverines against Gedeke for the Cyclones. It's backhanded in by Zachary Nichols behind the net. Rimming down the near side. It's Tyler Grote controlling, trying a centering pass. It deflects into the high slot and back into the Dearborn defensive zone.
Yeah, and for Dearborn, you've got to watch for the stretch pass, and not only that, just watch the patience of this team. Look at this setup here, trying to wait for a breakout. It was Kevin Schnettler who tried to set one up, and this will go down the ice. But still, Dearborn's really patient with the puck, something to look for in this game.
Billy Brock scampers in the attacking zone, lugs the puck to the net, screaming for it down the far side. It's won behind the net by Trevor Sabo for the Cyclones, and he pushes it forward, Andrew Lee. The lefty pins the puck behind the net, backhanded away by Proudlock on a turnover behind the net. It skitters down the far side, dug out by Erickson. He controls right hash, a shot turned aside, a rebound in front by Sandy. It deflects wide to the far corner, and it's lobbed out to the red line by Michael Hodgson.
That was a tense moment there from Proudlock behind the net, almost a turnover and an open net for Iowa State to look at, and he left a big rebound as well, but Michigan-Dearborn survives. Here just getting into the 7-minute mark of this period.
Billy Brock avoids the delayed offside, scampers back to neutral ice, whips it over towards Cunningham. A shot from the right circle deflected wide far side. It's backhanded by Tyler Dalton toward the goal line. It's pickpocketed away by David Rakowski. The defenseman backhands it into the Dearborn defensive zone. Proudlock has to play it out, gets collided with, no penalty called. It's still strumming and skittering away in the Dearborn defensive zone. And it's Tommy Hansen backhanding it behind the net. Centering pass off the stick of Alcott looking for Hansen. It rolls behind the net. No penalty called yet. Proudlock can't save it as the puck still rolls free far side. On a forecheck, it's Jackson Grolum playing it into the high slot looking for Sabo at the flex wide. Grolum with it still. Top of the left circle. Dangles past the defender. Backhand centering feed. Nobody home. And it's intercepted by Billy Brock. He gains the red line, chips it behind the net, and it's played first ahead by Nicholas Sandy.
And that was a pretty good shift there from Iowa State in the offensive zone, moving the puck well, trying to get Dearborn drawn out from the middle and open up some shooting lanes, but the Wolverines not caving in.
Sandy's stretch pass intercepted. It's tapped down the far side by Uglum. 2 goals his last time out against Ohio yesterday. His first multi-goal game in his national tournament career. A shot from the right circle, turned the side in the slot. And now it's Sterling Cooper, the Murphy, Texas native, dancing past the red line. He whips it over to the near corner. Silas Johnson, pinned to the half wall, holds to the backhand far side. It's Matthew LaForest holding left hash. It's poked out to the red line. 8 minutes gone here in the first period. Only 5 shots on net by both teams combined. 3 for Dearborn and 2 for the Cyclones.
And we mentioned Iowa State's been outshot before in one of their victories, and then Michigan-Dearborn, one of the highest shooting teams in this tournament. A little shocked to see the shots this low this early.
CJ Banter's centering pass, one-timer off the stick, rebound, they score! Banter had a shot deflected in the slot, and it crosses the goal line. The Cyclones take a 1-0 lead.
And there it is right there, a weird bounce off Proudlock's shoulder. It's Trevor Sabo, it looks like, who's going to get the goal, and we'll take a look at the replay here.
It actually might have deflected off of a Dearborn player, and Sabo is the closest to the net, so Sabo will get credit with the goal.
And that was just a flutter puck almost from Sabo trying to chip it over the top corner, but again, Sabo gets the first goal, and it's the number 5 ranked Cyclones up early.
So it's the first goal in the national tournament allowed by Dearborn, and it comes in the national semifinals. It rolls out to neutral ice, collected away by Nick Arazowitz. He wheels back into the defensive zone, backhands it toward the far corner, Andrew Spiegel. He gallops ahead. He clubs it down the far wing, trying to connect with Kevin Bashar that rolls behind the net, behind Go-to-Keep. It's corralled by Spiegel, the lefty. Whips the puck out to the near corner. It deflects off a stick, handed away by Azarowitz, and now here comes Hansen for the Cyclones. 2-on-1 odd man rush if they hurry. A shot from the circle, blocker to the side by Proudlock. He directs it to the near corner. Dug out by Alcott behind the net. Wheels down the left half wall, and now the goal line. It deflects out to Hansen. Pins it to the wall. It's gunned down by Hodgson. He rims it down the length of the ice. Race for the puck. Icing is washed. Spiegel able to win the race for it behind the net. He holds. It caroms wide, and it's Tyler Grote controlling. One of the leaders in the country in goals. Has a shot turned aside. And it's controlled by Justin Parlson. Rote keeps it in, holding at the left dot. A shot deflected wide, kept in left point. A shot by Ames deflects over the crossbar. A rebound deflects off the stick of McCarron. A shot by Dalton blocked the side, and it's walloped out to the red line. A clear for the Cyclones.
Nice block from Iowa State as Michigan-Dearborn looking to get an answer. Here comes a chance here.
Brock on the backhand. Centering pass deflects wide off the stick of Nichols, and it caroms to near corner. It's Brock controlling right hash. Backhands to Nichols. Holds at the goal line. Clubs it down the far side. It's controlled by Ames. He pins it to the wall. Corks it down to the left point. It bounces high up in the air. Brock has to slap it out to the red line. It's controlled by Cunningham. He enters on side at the right circle. Guides it behind the net. Pickpocketed away by Azevedo. It climbs up the half wall and it rolls out to neutral ice.
And looks like Iowa State's doing the best that they can to defend that defensive zone, but they've also done a really good job on the forecheck pressure and in the offensive zone of against Michigan-Dearborn. Something to keep your eye on, the offensive zone forecheck from Iowa State. They have had 2 great games with that forecheck.
Nicholas Zervos, the sophomore from Northville, Michigan, stretches the puck out to the red line, controlled by Tyler Dalton, guides below the goal line, holds a wraparound shot, steer the side. It rolls down the far corner. John Barlow trying to dig it away for the Wolverines. Plays it out to Hodgson, holds at the hash mark, gallops to the point, holds on a backhand shot. He fires one on net, stick the side. Hodgson plays it up. It's gloved down by Barlow, holding wrist shot from the goal line, rims down the far wall, and it rolls out to the red line.
That was an off-angle shot there for Michigan-Dearborn, but just trying to throw pucks on the net of Matt Gedke. They're going to have to do anything they can, try to find the easy shots forward against an Iowa State team who's had a solid defensive start so far.
3 shots apiece for the Wolverines and the Cyclones. Here's C.J. Banser, a shot from the circle, chested down by Proudlock to halt play. 8.5 to go in the first period, 1-0. The Cyclones on top of the Wolverines as we step aside from Frisco. You're watching the 2019 American Collegiate Hockey Association Division I National Championships on the ACHA Network.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Aries Sportswear, official merchandise partner of the ACHA. Howie's Hockey Tape, the official tape provider of the ACHA. And the City of Frisco.
Back in Frisco, 1-0 our score. The Iowa State Cyclones on top of the University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines off the strength of a Trevor Sabo goal. His first of the tournament has put the Cyclones, the number 5 team in the nation, on top of the number 2 Wolverines here on day 5 of the D1 National Tournament. Casey Roll with you alongside Sam Fleming. Baz Echevarri will join us in a moment. Sam, it's been a pretty impressive start for the Cyclones so far.
Definitely an impressive start against one of the toughest teams in the ACHA, the number 2 ranked Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines. Some people thinking this team could be the favorites to win the national tournament, but Iowa State, a little bit of a fortunate bounce, but it's a hard effort going to the goal, a gritty style goal, and Iowa State has seemed to build the energy off of that and have the momentum.
Justin Dunn centering pass is trying to poke free by Spiegel. A near side shot turned aside by the Gedeke, and another big save made by the senior goaltender.
Yeah, and Spiegel was right there on the doorstep. Now Iowa State comes back the other way. Can they make something off that save?
Grallum wheels past the blue line. It rolls into the defensive zone. Delayed offside, washed, and here comes Nick Ozarowitz. His shot chested down by Gedeke.
Yeah, and those are going to be the easy saves for Matt Gedeke. He's one of the best goaltenders I think I've seen in this tournament so far, especially in that 3-2 Ohio game that they won yesterday. He played phenomenal between the pipes. Ohio, a tough team to face against some of the top scorers there, and Tyler Harkins and Gianni Evangelisti. They held them in check in that game, and it was no thanks part to Matt Gedke, who played a phenomenal game for Iowa State in both the games.
36 saves made by the 25-year-old senior transfer from Midland University. The Wolverines control the defensive zone. John Ames rifles it up the half wall, pickpocketed away by Tony Uglum. Backhand centering feed deflects in the slot, intercepted by Connor Cunningham. He runs it over towards Zachary Nicholson. Cross ice pass Down the left circle, Billy Brock. His shot deterred wide. He keeps it in on a forecheck. Backhand feed in the slot, deflected wide. Grote from the circle. He scores! The tournament's leading scorer puts Dearborn on top with 7:18 to go in the first.
And you cannot let Tyler Grote have that much space. And tough angle shot from number 91 and one of the best shooters in the tournament. As you take a look at this replay, gets a bounce off and tucks it near side on Gedke. What a shot from number 91.
It's Grote's 5th goal of the tournament and his 119th all-time.
5th goal in the tournament, impressive for Grote. Now Michigan-Dearborn with that goal, a quality scoring chance that they convert on. How do they use this to take the momentum? And Iowa State's got to maybe prepare for an onslaught here.
LaForest backhands the puck out to the point. Justin Dunn keeps it in, nudged off the puck. It rolls behind the net. First to it, Dawson Richard. He clubs it up the right half wall, trying to connect with Troy Saunders. It rolls in front, and Gedeke has to make a sliding save.
And this is going to be Michigan-Dearborn's game style now. After they get a goal, they settle in a little bit and start moving the puck pretty well. And for Matt Gedke, he's going to have to stand on his head again. Michigan-Dearborn likes to throw a lot of traffic to the front of the net and also take some good shots opportunities. I've never really seen Michigan-Dearborn in this tournament take a shot opportunity that wasn't a quality scoring chance. They just did right there with Tyler Grote.
Tyler Dalton wins the faceoff, whips it out towards the right goal line, fed to John Barlow behind the net, backhanded further by Max Olson, found the far side, pickpocketed and swiped away by Nick Azarowitz, runs it behind the net, Barlow first to it, pins it to the wall, shovels it up the right half wall, intercepted away by Jackson Growlum, and he stretches it out down the far side, banked off the half wall, and is controlled by the Wolverines behind the net with Azarowitz. 10 combined shots with 6:25 to go in the first period, 6-4 in favor of Dearborn over Iowa State. The first time all tournament that these teams have allowed a first period goal. Jackson Growlum dumps it behind the net, Proudlock first to it, leaves it behind for Kyle Schnettler, the junior from Metamora, Michigan at 23 years old. Stretches it to Corey Spiegel, a centering pass from the blue line, and they rule it as an offside.
This has been a good game so far. Back and forth action between these two teams. Again, we talked about this yesterday with our game that we did, the Adrian Minot State game and then the Liberty Lindenwood game that I did as well. There's not really a feeling out process when you get to these semifinal games. It's straight into the action. The physicality picks up straight off the bat. So I definitely think that this game has had a good start to it, and it'll be interesting to see how it goes between these two teams.
Azevedo chips the puck looking towards Uglum. He controls below the right goal line. A backhand shot skitters wide over the crossbar. It's smacked out to the red line, and it rolls down into the Iowa State defensive zone. Turnover on a forecheck. Dunn holds. Centering pass in the high slot. Wrist shot. Glove down by Gedeke to halt play.
A nice glove save from Matt Gedeke. Again, the glove saves have been the key in this tournament. We've seen the leather flashed a lot. As you'll take a look at this save on the monitor on a replay here. And a great opportunity, but easy save for him off Justin Dunn's attempt.
Dunn, the junior from Trenton, Michigan, has 1 point in 2 games this playoffs. In the midst of a career-high 50-point season in the regular year, 25 goals for the former Point Mallard Duck of the NA3HL. It's chipped out to the red line. Connor Cunningham gloves it down, takes a spill on the ice after the hit by David Rutkowski. And it's stretched along to Justin Hodgson. Has the puck skate off his boot and down. Max Olson controls as it rolls down the far corner. Dug out by Dylan Goggin. Wheels up the near half wall. It's pickpocketed away by Hodgson, holding right circle. A wrist shot chested down again by Gedeke.
Yeah, another good save from Gedeke off a tough shot from Hodgson, but he gets it straight onto the net. Again, looking at this game, it's going to be key for these teams to try to get rebounds when they can. Shoot for the low pads. A lot of rebound opportunities come from these goals. So let's see who will have the best opportunity to find some rebounds and put one home.
Face-off won by Iowa State with Adam Alcott. It rolls down the far side. It's corked over towards Tommy Hansen. He gains the blue line. Sachets below the right side. Skittering puck controlled at the right wall by Zachary Nichols. He controls and he whaps it over towards Billy Brock. Drags to the backhand, puts on the brakes at the hash mark. Centering pass in the slot. Wrist shot off the stick of Saunders, and another save made by Gedeke.
Another great save, 3 in a row from Matt Gedeke. Has a great chance in the slot for the Wolverines. I believe that was Troy Saunders on the shot, but Gedeke with the pads, a beautiful save coming out to stop that. And again, Iowa State eliminating the rebounds thanks to their solid goaltender, Matt Gedeke.
9 shots and 8 saves for the 25-year-old senior, standing at 6'4" and 174 pounds. And Sam, something different with Gedeke with other goalies in the tournament. You don't see too many goalies that are over 6'2". Proudlock for Dearborn stands at 6 foot. Gedeke outside of CDOT, they're the only 2 goalies that are over 6'3" in height.
And when you talk about a guy like Trevor CDOT, he's 26-0 this year for Lindenwood. Again, these 2 guys are too tough to shoot against as here comes a rush for Iowa State.
Azevedo stretches to Uglum at the dot, a wrist shot, glove save made by Proudlock. The senior from Southgate, Michigan, holding strong in the crease and remains 1-1.
Well, Thomas Proudlock says, hey, let me get in on this highlight reel. A nice glove save off the attempt from Tony Uglum. As Uglum, again, one of those top shooters in the 2-goal scorer against Ohio. Nice save from Proudlock on the rush for Iowa State.
A 91.9 save percentage in tournament play off the draw, shot by Uglum, glove down by Proudlock. He gluns it down the far side. It's Bouchard holding a backhand shot off a pass from Spiegel. It caroms down the far wall and it trickles out to the red line. 9 shots for Dearborn, 5 for the Cyclones. Under 4 minutes to go here in the first period. National semifinal number 1. The winner moves on to the national championship game to take on possibly Lindenwood University, the number 1 seed in the country, and the Cinderella story that's got everybody buzzing, Sam, the Minot State Beavers.
And the Minot State Beavers knock off the defending national champions and the Adrian Bulldogs. Again, last year they were the number 1 seeds and the favorites going into the tournament. So could they pull off a little bit of a Cinderella upset in the semifinals? Make sure to tune into that on the ACHA network right after our game.
Our good friends Cristiano Simonetta and Quinn Kuski will have the call. A 7:30 scheduled puck drop. On a forecheck, it's smacked out to the red line. Controlled by Kyle Schnettler. Over to John Barlow, gains the blue line, holding right side, chips it behind the net of Gedeke, dug out far side by the Cyclones, Joey Marcusili. He controls behind the net. And Sam, this is something else that's been a topic this tournament, how Dearborn has controlled the forecheck. They open up with a 1-2-2.
Yeah, and Dearborn's 1-2-2, a strong forecheck we've seen in both games. They've used that, and it's worked effectively for the Wolverines. Pressuring hard here, having to force Iowa State to make some cutbacks. So we'll see how the 1-2-2 pays off for the Wolverines.
Olsen shovels the puck over towards Nicholas Sandy. It's pickpocketed by Grote. He guns it down into the defensive zone. Playing it off the high wall, it's Tyler Dalton. Smacks it to the D zone to Kyle Schnettler. He rolls around out to the red line. It's backhanded down to the near corner. Dug out by Olsen. He holds on the backhand behind the net. He plays it far side. It's played by Trevor Sabo. Guns it down the wall. It's pickpocketed away by Hodgson. He holds right circle at the dot. His shot turned aside off the stick of Sandy. It caroms out to the right corner, and it's played out to the red line. Past the stick of Jackson Grolum and back into the Dearborn defensive zone. Chase Best first to play it. On a forecheck, Grolum with it. Right circle at the dot. Drags past the defender, but it's stick free by Best. It rims down the far side. Kept in right point by Kurt Hallback. His shot turned aside in the slot, and it's smacked out to neutral ice. And finally, Dearborn changes. A huge hit at neutral. We're going to get a delayed penalty on the Cyclones. It's Hodgson controlling as Proudlock skates toward the bench. Now back on, it remains 5-5. It's done. Stretching a pass out to the red line, Spiegel gains the blue line, high steps down the right circle. He wheels back to neutral ice. Proudlock started to go to the bench, skates back in an interesting method there as you had a power play possibly to go 6-on-5, but head coach Christopher Haltner keeping him in the crease to remain at 5.
And that was an interesting call from Haltner there. We thought Proudlock was going to go to the bench and they get the extra attacker out there, but again, it looked like Michigan-Dearborn playing a little bit of mind games as you see this collision on the replay, and that was a tough hit. and Graham takes a seat in the box. So Casey, with 1:40 to go, a power play opportunity for Michigan-Dearborn to try to take the lead in this game late in the first period.
Dearborn in the tournament 2 for 7 on the power play. A modest number for a team which had the best man advantage unit amongst independent teams in Division I hockey. Holding at the right circle, Kevin Bouchard plays it straight away. Brock has shot. A rebound, they score! They centered at the far side, and Grote scores his second of the game.
And a beautiful feed to Tyler Grote. And who else? The leading goal scorer in the tournament, his second of the day, 6th of the tournament. And what a goal from Grote.
It's Grote's 5th multi-goal game of the season, and it's the first power play goal Iowa State has allowed in this tournament.
And that's a tough power play goal to give up, because now Dearborn has the lead after trailing 1-0 early. And we saw that yesterday in the Liberty-Lindenwood game. A weird bounce for Liberty gave them the 1-0 lead early, but then Lindenwood took home the advantage late in that period. So a big goal for the Wolverines late.
So Tyler Grote extends his career best season, 37 combined goals in the regular season and in tournament play. A power play that lasted under 5 seconds. And Dearborn strikes to take the lead. It's gunned down by Andrew Spiegel behind the defensive zone, collected by Nicholas Sandy. A senior from Calgary, Alberta, and the former Nipawin native in the MJHL starts to break over towards Max Olson. He stretches one that clashes high off a stick, and it caroms up into the mesh behind the goal posts.
And you talked about that quick power play, all of just about 5 seconds. I believe that's back-to-back games Dearborn has had a power play that's lasted under 10 seconds. They've been really good with their power play in this tournament, and that's been why they've been one of the tougher teams to beat.
A third power play goal of the tournament for the Wolverines. 2 of them have come off the stick of Tyler Grote. Face-off won by the Cyclones. Uglum has it stick pretty far side by Spiegel. It caroms down the far wall. Skittering puck, Spiegel controls in the defensive zone. Smacks it over towards Cunningham. He gallops past the red line. Swats it over towards Zachary Nichols. Rolls behind the net. Spiegel first to it for the Wolverines. Pins it to the wall. Kicks it to Justin Dunn. Gallops below the goal line. Puts on the brakes. Back to Spiegel. Right point, Cunningham holds a shot way wide. Played off the end wall. It's backhanded out by Azevedo to the red line. 24 seconds remaining here in the first period, and Dearborn looking to try to take a lead going into the locker rooms after the first 20. Fight for the puck at the red line. It's jab 3 by Bouchard, and it's back into the Cyclone defensive zone with 10 seconds left. It's Kurt Hallback stretching a pass, trying to connect with Acevedo. It's down icing as Wash. John Ames plays it toward the wall, and that'll do it for the first. A pair of goals by Tyler Grote has put the Wolverines on top 2-1 through 20.
And this was a good first period. Again, Iowa State had the strong start in this game with the goal from Trevor Sabo. And then again, Tyler Grote, the most dangerous shooter in this tournament, still left in the semifinals. 2 goals for him, the leading goal scorer in the tournament. Nice power play goal for Dearborn heading into the locker room. And I think, Casey, we're in store for a great second period coming up.
It's a Dearborn team that's averaged just over 5.7 goals a game. They strike for 2 in the opening 20 minutes. The first pair of goals that Iowa State has allowed in the first period all tournaments.
And you look for Dearborn, like you were saying, too. Both teams letting up their first period goal of the tournament. But again, Michigan-Dearborn, they get the 2-goal advantage, the two goals in this period from Grote. Again, a nice way to start this game.
A 10-save performance by Thomas Proudlock in net for Dearborn. 6 saves for Matt Gedeke, a pair of senior netminders trying to make a national tournament push. Sam, what stood out to you by both goalies in the pipes?
I think they both played phenomenal between the pipes. When you look at Gedeke, he had to make some key saves.
Hockey heads are special, which is why we protect them. With a helmet designed, built, and tested to endure real-world hockey impacts.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
She loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways, and in grand ones.
Dad.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
the third or fourth line even just to bang home a goal. They're going to need to get bodies in front of the net. Proudlock been known to give up a couple rebound chances, so second chances are going to be huge for them. But just anything to get more than 6 shots, because I don't see, less than 25 beating this Dearborn team.
Yeah, because in addition to, and the reason why, to that point, is if you're only getting 6, 7 shots a period, not only are you not creating offense, the likelihood is Michigan is creating a lot of offense on the other end of the ice.
Right, correct.
So that's something to keep in mind. So we talk about that. We talk about the opportunities ahead. Second period coming up. We've talked about what they need to do. We have a second game coming up today too.
Yep.
The Lindenwood Lions. They will try to hold down their number 1 seed and try to hold on to home ice, but it might not stay. No longer the number 1 seed, maybe breaking a jinx here. They've looked really good so far in this tournament.
Yeah, Minot State has championship experience, so does Lindenwood. I mean, Lindenwood coming into this game 27-1, I believe was their record in the ACHA.
Something in 1.
Yeah, right.
Something big and 1.
Their goalie C-Dot, perfect on the year, 25-0. I was able to call the last Lindenwood game last night. They were in control. It seemed like they kind of walked through the game, but in a good way, right? It's just that it was effortless. They were gliding around the ice. They make tape-to-tape passes like a friendly exchange.
Right.
They're absolutely well coached. But towards the end of that game, the Liberty Flames did really press them. I think that Lindenwood became a little bit conservative, reserved, and they were able to score it was 2 goals and really give them a run for their money. Minot State is a really good team. I would not be surprised to see Minot upset Lindenwood tonight.
Okay, and the other reason why it's a big deal, or how the Flames got back into that game, penalties. It was a major penalty. They ended up with a 5-minute major. I don't actually think they got much going the first 4 minutes of it, but then they scored 2 quick ones. And we've seen that in this tournament, I don't know if there's ever a timely penalty, but teams getting timely power play goals off of penalties that really might not have been necessary. I mean, a 5-minute major, you do not want to commit that at the end of the game. The open ice hit that just got the Dearborn power play, and like we said, 11 seconds in, if that doesn't happen, do they go into the locker room tied up at 1? That would be a much better place for them if they were.
Right, and at this Division I level, that's where you see these stars shine, these guys that could be playing, for high-level junior or have come from high-level junior teams, could be playing NCAA Division III, even Division I guys. These power plays are so effective. They're so well coached. When you're 5-on-5 and you're even, you're going to get a lot of back and forth play. But where you see teams really shine is how well coached they are in the power play, because you got guys like a Tyler Grote snapping those shots off at you. So you'd never want to be in the box.
Yeah, it's a good rule of thumb at any hockey game, at any hockey level. Stay out of the penalty box. I mean, it's funny because we have these hockey cliches, going hard to the net and making sure that you're staying out of the box. But this time of year, that's just what you have to do. Folks, that'll do it for our first intermission update. We're going to go ahead and have it send it back to the boys for the second period on the ACHA Network.
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit ChooseYourAdventure.net.
know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
Back from the Comerica Center in downtown Frisco, Texas, 2-1 our score. The University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines on top of the Iowa State Cyclones. Game number 1 of semifinal Monday from the Lone Star State. Glad you can join us. Casey Roll with you high above the ice alongside Boz Echevarri. And B, a lot of scoring in the first period for two teams who hadn't allowed a goal through the first 20 minutes entering play today.
Yeah, I think the thing about this is that you keep an eye on Tyler Groth. I mean, Michigan, they do have 3 players over that 50-point mark, and that's a tough task for any team, and that creates a lot of defensive matchups, as you heard Scott kind of enable during the break. And that's a tall task for Iowa. But on the other side, too, I mean, Iowa was grinding through the first couple of minutes. They ended up getting a goal that hopped over the goaltender Prodlock's shoulder, and it resulted in a goal. So if you're Iowa State, it's kind of going to be a grinded-out type of game, and really you're going to be rewarded for goals that you had to work for.
The power play goal, the one that put Dearborn on top of Iowa State, the first power play goal the Cyclones have allowed this tournament, and only the third that they've given up in the last 11 games entering play today. How does Dearborn continue to attack this penalty kill unit for the Cyclones?
You know, if you're number one key, stay out of the box. It's as simple as that. Being down there on ice level, it was Iowa State thought it was a little 50-50 from the ice level. Kind of argue it. They were both kind of going for the puck. I know up here, a different vantage point. Refs called something a little bit different, but if you're Iowa State, stay out of the box. You don't have to worry about killing any penalties if you do that. But if you end up doing that, I mean, high offensive scores for Michigan. So it's really a really tough task, and you really have to break it down, take away the middle of the ice.
And if you're Iowa State, the MO of this tournament, we have them right where we want them. The only team left in the semifinal bracket to have trailed at any point in this tournament. They trail 2-1 right now, and they've had the most amount of goals they've scored in tournament play right here in the second period. And on the flip side, Dearborn has allowed the most goals that they've allowed in the second period, so we'll see whether or not the things stay the same as to the MO. Off the face-off, the Wolverines control. It's Brock holding left circle. A shot flutters wide over the crossbar, kept it at the right point by Troy Saunders. Smacks it behind the net. First to the puck for the Cyclones. It's Tony Uglum. He wraps it down the far side, kept back in by the Wolverines. Saunders chips it along, kept it at the right goal line by Tyler Grote. The goal scored tonight for the Wolverines. Dances past the defender. It's chip free by C.J. Banser. It rolls out to neutral ice, and it's smacked around by the Cyclones, controlled by Max Olsen. Here's Brock holding center point. Wrist shot over by Grote. A centering pass deflected wide. The rebound caroms to the near corner. It's chipped off the high glass by Dylan Goggin, and it clears the zone.
Yeah, as tough as it is, if you're Iowa State, with how good that line is, you have to know when Tyler Grote's on the ice, and you have to make sure they got someone on him the whole time. He's wide open right now.
John Ames backhands to Grote, fakes a shot. Wrister deflects off the glove of Gedeke and bounces into the mesh.
Yeah, we've heard Ryan Jones over on the intermission. He's made the joke multiple times. You take out the R, and Tyler becomes a GOAT. And in this tournament right now, he very well might be with 6 goals.
You know, I know that GOAT's an acronym for greatest of all time, but I never got why people would label the greatest at anything as a shot by Kevin Bouchard this turn of the side, but I never got why the MO and the symbol for being the best at what you do is a small goat. Like, you think a lion or maybe a bear as the puck rolls into the high slot. Cunningham, a shot deflects wide off the blocker of Gedeke. It rolls down the far side. Cunningham wraps it behind the net. First to the puck, it's Spiegel for the Wolverines. Chips it up the high wall. Ames tries to play it forward. It's guided below the goal line. And now out to the hash mark. Scrumming for control of the puck. Spiegel centers it looking for Dunn, and it's controlled by Aaron Azevedo. So just trying to get your thoughts on that. What do you think the greatest of all time animal should be if you have one? Your spirit animal for the best ever?
Well, I'm sure Michigan fans would probably say a Wolverine. And if you're a Cyclone, maybe looks like they got a hawk on their jerseys. I'm not exactly sure what their mascot is, but we are going to have another penalty here.
Well, we're going to have a power play, and it's going to go for Dearborn. So they're on the man advantage for the second time this afternoon. Already 1 for 1, and the penalty is going to go on Kurt Hallback, the senior from Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, it goes back. You got to stay out of the box just because of how deadly this Michigan-Dearborn power play is. Already scored a goal off of it today to end the period, and if you're Iowa State coming out of the locker room, this isn't where you want to be, especially when being outshot 2-1.
Dearborn on the tournament, 3 for 8 on demand advantage. Face-off won by Dunn. He chips it out to the right point. Spiegel keeps it in, holds in the backhand, guides it down the right hash mark. It's controlled. Silas Johnson, centering pass, one-timer, deflects off the stick of Grote. Rebound in front. Grote trying to poke away at it. A backhand shot deflected wide. Rebound, they score!
And that's just a numbers game. When you have a scrum in front of the net, of course the ref right there, and he was looking at it the whole time. But Grote sent it that opportunity coming in this game. He had 5 points, so add another one to it.
It's Kevin Bouchard with the goal. The 5th-year senior from Trenton, Michigan, with his second of the tournament, and the Wolverines take a 3-1 lead over the Cyclones.
Yeah, if you're the Cyclones, you kind of need to. You just came out of the dressing room, but there's some hard conversations going on as we're going to take a look at this again on the other end. Up from the point, and Grote was left alone on the far side post. And you can see him get that pass. He had a wide open net, a good save, and then just the scramble in front poked away. Grote with another opportunity and finally sending it home. I think Iowa State thought we should have had a whistle. And I think Iowa State right now is asking for a challenge on that after seeing the replay.
That's exactly what head coach Jason Fairman is talking with this officiating crew with. The referee, Logan Grohl, skating over to where the official scores table. So, Boz, this is a very big play in this game because you don't want to go down to Dearborn by 2 goals. Teams are 0-2 when trailing after 2.
Yeah, very tall task, but we've seen a lot of things in this tournament. And right now that's what our officials are taking a look at. That's Logan Grohl and John Linder, the men in the orange stripes, who are going to decide if this goal counts. But I think one of the things that you have to remember as we take another look at the puck is in front, and you'll see it trickle at right there. It's not completely controlled, but it is under the goaltender. But you got to end up with control on it. It doesn't look like the goaltender for Iowa State, Gedeke, actually has it.
There isn't a valid argument for interference because the man who fell into Gedeke was Trevor Sabo, his own man. So interference isn't a viable penalty or a call to wave it off. And yeah, you mentioned it, Gedeke did not have possession of the puck, so you can't freeze it when you don't have possession.
And I think the argument here, too, the official was right on top of it. He had the best look at it right on top of the goal. And of course, the thing that we do need to take in consideration is that official's discretion as the puck is there. He has the best look at when control is established, when he needs to blow the whistle. Of course, we always heard the term thrown out, intent to blow in the NHL, and it doesn't look like our official here was ready to do that. Is, you know, the puck under the arm, that's a limb that is flying out there. Usually you see it once they kind of snow angel everything into their body. That's when we look at it. We take another look at it, and this might be a long review because, as you said, Casey, an important goal right here is it squeaks through under Gedeke. Grote finds it, tried to backhand it in, it misfired, and right there it's under. But you see his arm lift, and then the poke by, I believe that was Betchard.
So as of right now, on the ice, it's a goal, and something to keep an eye on is that you cannot overturn a goal unless it's irrefutable evidence that there was a stoppage or that the play was halted. And now we're going to get our official rulings from our officiating crew, Grull and Linder.
No goal.
No goal.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Whatever the refs rule, and the head coach over there, Chris Haltner, is probably asking about why, and probably arguing no controls. We take a close-up look at it. Maybe this was the look that overturned the call. There's that backhand by Grote, and probably not the best look from there just because we can't see that right arm of Gedeke. But nevertheless, I think the timing is the other thing that we had to look at too. 146 left on the power play for the Wolverines.
So we remain 5-on-4. Kevin Bouchard holds his hand up asking, how could that not be a goal? Anyway, it trickles out to the left point. Tyler Grote keeps it in, smacks it straight away over towards Brock. A slap shot catches the high glass bar side, chipped out to the right corner. It's Bouchard banking off the high wall to Brock. Dances the blue line, centers it over towards Bouchard. His shot steered wide off the blocker of Gedeke. It trickles down the near corner. Tyler Grote holding at the goal line, drifts down behind the net, holding at the hash mark, plays it to Brock left point, surfs the blue line and goals at the ACHA logo, deflects off the stick of Grote. He backhands it high and up into the mesh for a stoppage in play. In the NHL or any higher tier junior league, boss, that would be a delay of game and it would be 4-on-4, but ACHA rules do not have a delay of game if the puck deflects off of the mesh without hitting the glass.
Yeah, USA Hockey, NCAA rules that govern the collegiate level. I think right now, though, if you're Iowa State, I think this review a little bit of a wake-up call because you're on the bench, you're thinking, hey, we could have just gone down 2 goals. Let's figure this thing out. Let's kill us off and get our stuff back together.
Hodgson at the left dot, his shot to turn wide off the stick of Justin Paulson. It caroms to near corner, and Hodgson controls 3 goals in this tournament. Smacks it out to the left point. Kyle Schnettler gets it back to Hodgson. A shot through a couple bodies, deflects off a stick. Dug out by Olsen down to left goal line. Scrum for the puck near side. It's jab 3 and 1 by Zachary Nichols. The junior from Dearborn, unable to keep the zone. A centering pass deflects off the stick of Christian Ramage, and it's down, played by Proudlock.
Yeah, right there. Good opportunity and good defensive play on that series for the Cyclones. Get that change, get off, and keep it a 1-goal deficit.
Schnettler enters the zone offside after the puck vacated the blue line. Fans miss anything in the American Collegiate Hockey Association? Be sure to catch ACHA tonight on achahockey.org. A full recap of the Division I semifinals. Iowa State and Michigan-Dearborn in Game 1. Lindenwood and the upstart Minot State. How about those Minot State Beavers? Back-to-back wins against the representatives in the championship game last season.
Yeah, Minot State, they've been looking to get to that game for a while, coming in as number 1 seed numerous years.
One-timer by Brock, deflects in the slot. Grote tries to smack away at it. It's deflected off the stick of Aaron Azevedo. Can he clear the zone? He cannot. The puck caroms down the near goal line, and that'll do it for the power play. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Hallback scampers back into the defensive zone. It rolls up the half wall. Hallback unable to clear it. Grote left point. His shot chested down by Gedeke to stop play.
Well, I don't want to say it's a couple of checklists, but when you think about it, you do need to kill off that power play. Now next thing needs to do, win the faceoff, get out of your zone, set up a cycle in the Wolverine zone and an opportunity. Remember that first goal. It was one of those dirty type goals. It wasn't one where a player sniped it. It was up and over and going down. Actually had a chance to talk to Sabo during during the first period, and he was kind of laughing at the way it went in, but his team and himself was well pleased with the fact that it just crossed the goal line.
The senior out of Skokie, Illinois, scoring his first goal in the tournament, coming at an opportune time, the national semifinal. The puck is chipped off the high wall. John Barlow trying to centering pass, and here come the Cyclones. 3-on-2 odd-man rush if they hurry. In the high slot, it's all cut. Holding left circle, a shot deflected wide. A rebound in front, trickles past the stick of Nicholas Rogers, and it's ushered up the near half wall by Hodgson. Doubles back into his own defensive zone and slides it over to John Ames. Banks it off the wall. It's flipped in by Kyle Schnettler. Stick down by Gedeke. Banks it down the far wall. Justin Paulson first to play it. Forecheck on by the Wolverines. It's Connor Cunningham over to Matthew LaForest. The puck skitters down the far side. LaForest jabbing at it. He one-hands it over towards Dustin Richard at the right hash. Reverses direction at the goal line. Richard keeps it in right circle. Dances at the dot. It's pickpocketed away by Paulson. He guns it down to near side, kept in by Tommy Hansen, and he one-hands it up the near wall. Trevor Sabo dances at the red line, checks a man at the neutral zone, and it's LaForest guiding it back in the attacking zone before it's flipped out to the red line.
Yeah, so far transitional hockey right now. No team really able to set up a cycle or maintain a lot of time in the zone.
Best a shot turned the side off the pad of Gedeke. It caroms down the far wall at the hash mark. It's flipped up to the point. Unable to keep it in Best. It rolls out to the red line. It's tapped in by Andrew Lee. And he gets nudged off the puck by Nick Azarowitz. He wheels ahead in the attacking zone. Quarterback in the offense, smacks it over to LaForest. He lost it off the half wall. Azarowitz has to careen back into the defensive zone to play it. 18-7 are shots on goal in favor of the Wolverines over the Cyclones. It's down. Gedeke playing it behind the net on a forecheck. It's Bouchard, who was robbed of a goal moments ago. Possibly would have made it 3-1. It remains 2-1 in favor of the Wolverines. It's at the wall. Dunn trying to play it in the high slot. It's jabbed out to the red line. Smacked back in by Saunders behind the net. And the forecheck once again for Dearborn. A bit of a different look right now, a hybrid 1-2-2 and a 1-3-1, something that we had touched upon earlier in the game.
Yeah, that 1-3-1, we've seen it wreck a couple of NHL teams even during their playoffs. Is that 1-3-1, if you play it the right way, it doesn't give you a whole lot of passing lanes to start your breakout out of.
Iowa State controls. It's Uglum losing it at the blue line. It's smacked into the Dearborn defensive zone. And finally, a quick change made by the Cyclones. There were no line changes, Boz, in the last minute and a half, an eternity in hockey.
Yeah, it really is. It's a long time, and I'm sure these players right now okay with this, especially if you're Michigan. If you could burn time, and the Iowa State side not exactly pumped with the fact that Michigan just okay with leaving it behind their own net.
Kyle Schnettler, the former Tulsa junior Oiler, spins it over towards Dunn. He dances past the defender, centering pass, one-timer by Grote. It trickles wide. A rebound on the backhand by Nichols. Skitters past the goal line. It remains out, and it's sent down by Sandy into the Dearborn defensive zone. It's scooped up by Tyler Dalton. A big miss for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I guess you started that opportunity again with the puck.
Grote centering pass on the backhand, a toe drag, deflects off the toe of Gedeke, and it stays out.
Are you kidding me? Gedeke keeping this a 1-goal deficit. I'm sure we're going to take a look at this one again. But Gedeke coming all the way across, getting his skate against that post. As we take a look at that again, man alive, what a save.
The 25-year-old transfer from Midland University keeps it a 1-goal deficit. The officials right now working on the goalpost, but my goodness.
Nichols right now kind of shaking his head at the faceoff dot, eyeballing Gedeke for highway robbery. Someone call Texas PD right now.
A lot of highways in Texas.
Maybe even Chuck Norris.
I'm not sure if Chuck Norris is in the state to rob people right now at his age, but
he might arrest someone.
Maybe in the 1970s. But here's Grote. He holds in the slot, turn the side off the pad of Gedeke. It's chipped off the high glass by Uglum, and it rolls out to neutral ice. Jackson Grolum in the high slot for the Cyclones. A backhand shot turned aside. Grote smacks it down the far corner. It's Brock unable to keep the red line. It bounces into the Cyclone bench.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you're Michigan, you're getting a lot of the opportunities right now. Take another look at this. And our shot from our corner, Cam. And, yeah, the backhand attempt, hockey a game of angles a little bit off. And and especially with those backhand shots, those are a little bit weird just because of the curvature of that blade. And sometimes you may have that follow through go in the direction of the back of the net, but because of that angle, it sailed parallel to that red line.
20 shots here for the Wolverines, the most allowed by Iowa State, with halfway through the second period. Coming off a game against Ohio where they allowed a tournament high 38 shots through their 2 games played. It's John Barlow for the Wolverines, pinning the puck to the left corner. It's stick free by Sabo, jabbing it out to the red line. It's smacked back in, but Sabo able to usher it out to neutralize. It's jammed home by Tyler Dalton, and a line change made by the Wolverines.
I know we don't have a time of possession stat or offensive zone time, but right now our key indicator, if you look at the scoreboard, it's 20-7 shots in favor of Michigan. And while it may not be the key indicator of what we talk about, the feel of the game, Iowa State spending a ton of time in the defensive zone.
It's Max Olson, the sophomore from Faribault, Michigan, controlling in the defensive zone. The former Peoria Mustang of the NA3HL stretches a pass in the attacking zone. Andrew Lee has it jabbed free, and it's controlled by Nick Azarovitz for Dearborn. Nearly halfway gone in the second period. A near goal by Michigan that was overturned has kept it at we're at right now. It's 2-1. Hunter Dolan ushers it in the attacking zone, jabs it behind the net. It's played off the glass by Thomas Proudlock off the near half wall. It skitters out to the red line, pickpocketed away by Hunter Dolan. Backhands it into the E zone. Aaron Azevedo over the Sandy. Dolan in the high slot, nubbed off the puck, and now we're going to get a delayed offside. The Cyclones vacating the blue line. It's chipped back in, controlled by Bouchard. At the right hash mark, nubbed off the puck, skittering down the far side. Kurt Hallback able to control. He plays it out to Uglum, who drags it past the blue line. Holds in the high slot, backhands it over the near side. Azevedo, backhand centering pass. That time looking for Hallback. It rolls just past his skates, and here come the Wolverines. In the high slot, a shot by Bouchard turned aside. It rolls down the far corner, and the Cyclones just trying to make sure the puck stays out of their zone. A lot of scoring chances in this period for the Wolverines, boss.
Yeah, really tough if you're Iowa State to score goals. And now here comes Grote.
At the dot, holds on the backhand, drags, and it sails wide over the crossbar, rolls down the far side. It rims out to the red line, backhanded in by Hansen behind the net. Proudlock forced to play it. He flubs it off the high glass, checked down by Growlum. A shot deflected wide, rolls down the goal line, and play is halted as the net gets hit off its moorings.
Yeah, one of the things here, the faceoff is going to come out. It was a Cyclone player who crashed the net, but right now, because you're spending so much time in your defensive zone, changes, especially even though it's a long change defensively, it's tough to make a change and then set up your offense. And over halfway through the period, I think we are going to take a timeout. After 30 minutes of hockey, Michigan 2, Iowa State 1.
You're watching the 2019 American Collegiate Hockey Association National Championships on the ACHA Network.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Barron Championship Rings, proud sponsor and championship ring provider for the ACHA. Warrior Sports, the preferred stick supplier of the ACHA. The Dallas Stars. For tickets and more information, visit dallasstars.com. And Southwest Airlines, the official event airline partner of the 2019 ACHA National Championships.
Back from the Comerica Center, 2-1 our score. The University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines on top of the Iowa State Cyclones. 2-1 on day number 1 of semifinal play. Casey Roll with you alongside Boz Etchevarri. Boz, it's the first matchup between these two teams in 27 years. The 1992 ACHA National Championship, the first national championship held by the American Collegiate Hockey Association. And there were a lot of things that most people will now think of as, geez, it was that long ago these two teams played.
Well, I don't know how I feel about being called old, but, in 1992, one of my favorite movies came out, Aladdin. Of course, they're making the live-action remake of that going on. And, of course, Home Alone 2 released.
Here's Grote in the attacking zone. His shot deflects off the crossbar and bounces down the far side and out of play. Tyler Grote putting on a show this afternoon for the Wolverine faithful.
And I'm sure the Michigan-Dearborn fans will probably start calling him GOAT after this tournament, regardless of what was going on. And right now, Grote's feeling it. And when you're feeling it, you're going to take shots like that, even though the goaltender and Gedeke closed off that near side post. And why not if you're Tyler Grote? You're a hot player right now, go for it.
Zachary Nichols gets tossed from the faceoff dot. It's Billy Brock, the sophomore out of Brownstown, Michigan, taking it. It's won by Iowa State. Jared Erickson muscles it out to the red line, and here comes Iowa State. Here's Mussolini, a shot deflected wide, rolls at the goal line, pitchforked off the glass by Nichols, up down the half wall, pickpocketed by Brock. He motors past the red line, stops it over the Grote, and he enters offside.
Well, even if you might be as hot as you are, you still got to make sure your teammates come in on side before you carry it. But going back to it, I mean, this is crazy. Mall of America in the state of hockey. It wasn't even around by then. It's still being built. Of course, huge mall. I'm not sure if you've been there or not.
I go to school at Indiana University. I've gone to Michigan and Michigan State for basketball and hockey games. Have never made my way out to Minnesota for a hockey game.
Sure, our executive producer and AJ Bolden can tell us all about the Mall of America.
Well, a former Minnesota North Stars fan, I'm not sure what his feelings are being in Dallas, with the Dallas Stars now playing out at the American Bank Center.
Oh, I'm sure our director, Matt Coma, could tell you all about that. Battle ensues. Another kind of crazy thing, since we are being in Dallas, a good segue, 1992, Cowboys beat the Bills, the first of their back-to-back Super Bowls.
Controlling up the far wall, it's Kramer centering, a shot off the stick of Uglum, glove down. We're going to get a penalty on the Wolverines. So for the first time today, the Cyclones will head to the man advantage.
Yeah, and why not? This is a perfect opportunity for you to grind it back in. And these are one of those things, you're looking for momentum shifts. Penalties can help spell that, because if you have a good power play, you can move the Big Mo back from that home bench into the visiting bench and create something off it. You still spend 2 minutes in your own zone, even though you don't get that goal. Even that penalty expires. If you have a good cycle, we've seen plenty of good power plays create opportunities when teams go back on that 5-on-5 that leads to a goal.
So the power play unit on for the Cyclones. It's Tony Uglum holding at the left hash mark, pinned to the wall by Connor Cunningham, and it's gunned down by Kevin Bouchard. The Cyclones 1 for 2 yesterday against Ohio on demand advantage. In the tournament, just 2 for 9. Getting their first chance here against this Michigan-Dearborn penalty kill, who's allowed 3 power play goals. A shot from the left circle by Uglum, swagger to the side by Proudlock out to the near corner. Chipping for control of the puck, Aaron Azevedo, one of 2 goal scorers yesterday against Ohio, controlling at the right goal line. It's pinned to the wall by Cunningham. It rolls out in the slot. Controlled by Tyler Dalton. He guns it down behind the net of Azevedo.
Yeah, one of the things, if you're Iowa State, you need to keep that puck moving, either with yourself by skating it or by passing it, keeping it moving. A lot of off puck movement, but you need to keep the legs moving, keep that puck moving. And our colleague Jay Sewell likes to say it, the fastest skater you'll ever have on the ice is that puck.
Controlling down the far wall, it's Dylan Goggin. Plays it straight away to Sandy. His shot deflected wide. Uglum has to play it. He smacks it down the near half wall. Sandy trying to control it. It's taken away by Brock for the Wolverines. Pirouettes behind the net, smacks it off the high wall, deflects off the dot, rolls in the slot, and it's collected by Troy Saunders. He smacks it down, and it takes a weird bounce behind Gedeke, but the Cyclones playing it.
Yeah, really odd carom, but we've seen odd caroms all tournament. And another one kept that puck momentarily in the zone. But if you're Iowa State, you really got to get going, because there's a really aggressive penalty kill on the other side wearing yellow sweaters.
Goggins shot, gloved down by Proudlock. Only 1 shot on net for the Cyclones on this power play. And Boz only 3 in this period with 6:26 to go.
Yeah, and that kind of tells you it's been a thoroughly dominating performance. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself, saying that shots aren't exactly a key indicator as we take that glove save by product, but this is just one of the things that Michigan does, is they get after you on the penalty kill. They force you to make a move. The way you counteract that is being aggressive yourself, keep that puck moving, and now things get a little more tough, as you probably have a chance for one last rush.
15 seconds on the man advantage. The Cyclones controlling Max Olson, the former Peoria Mustang. Swaggers past the red line, stretches the pass over to Uglum. A centering pass, now a shot, gloved down by Proudlock to halt play with 3 seconds to go on the Cyclones' man advantage.
Yeah, the right idea. Your player's a little bit late getting to the net. I'm sure if you're the head coach, Jason Fairman, you'd want to see those skaters get there a little bit earlier. Nothing goaltenders are a different type of people, and they don't scare a whole lot easier, but they do notice when players from the opposing team are crashing their net after a shot.
Puck out to the left point. Justin Paulson chips it behind the net. That'll do it for the power play. Cyclones 0 for 1 here this afternoon. It's cycled down the far side. Paulson trying to center it to Sabo. It deflected wide. Spiegel guns it down, and it's iced. Hallback able to beat Spiegel towards the puck.
Yeah, Spiegel racing down. And kind of a little slower was Banter. And if you're Iowa State, you got to keep skating hard. I think the other thing that you do need to think about, this is Iowa State's 3rd game in 3 days, and the downside to being outside of the top 4 is you don't get that extra rest day. So maybe a little bit of fatigue to consider.
Spiegel gains the blue line. High steps down the left hash mark. A wrist shot deflects off a body. It skitters down the far corner. It's collected by Jackson Growlum. One hands it out to the red line past the stick of Tommy Hansen. It's controlled by Dearborn in the defensive zone. Now to the red line. A centering feed looking for Dunn, deflected wide. Hansen in the high slot, dances toward the right circle. A shot flutters wide over the crossbar. Growlum holding right hash. Backhand feed, trying to cycle it. It deflects wide. A huge hit by Joseph Krupp on C.J. Banser as it rolls down the high slot. A one-timer by Jay Joyo, deflected off a stick. And it's controlled behind the net, flipped out by the Wolverines with Nichols.
Yeah, I know Iowa State wanted a boarding call there. I think it was a good no call. As
a whistle away from the puck. Max Olson is skating around Andrew Spiegel. We've seen that a lot this tournament, especially the last few days. Officials blowing the whistle dead when there's somebody down on the ice away from the puck.
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, we're going to have a penalty here, too. Looks like it's going to against both Iowa State and Michigan. And the player there coming off from Michigan, that was Nick Azarovics, excuse me. He ended up screaming at the referee, and I'm trying to find that. Logan Krull, he was hit right there. You see him looking at it, and maybe Spiegel does have a argument there. He pinned Olsen against the boards, but nothing retaliatory, but he ends up going to the box nonetheless.
So Spiegel and Olsen head to the box. It's 4-on-4 hockey. It's Sandy controlling straight away, whips it over to Justin Paulson, smacks it out to the left dot. Aaron Azevedo chips it behind the net. Sandy controls right goal line. One hands it to Tony Uglum. Had 2 goals his last time out against Ohio. Left circle, Azevedo fakes a slap shot. Wrister deflected wide. It's caromed out to the far corner. Gloved down by Sandy. It rolls down to near goal line. It's Uglum holding right circle. A centering pass looking for Paulson. Intercepted. And it's jammed forward by Kyle Schnettler. A shot on net by Paulson. Steered wide. And Brock controls for the Wolverines. 4-on-4 hockey for 1 minute and 20 seconds. 4:20 remaining here in the period. Schnettler cruises past the red line, stretches one down the far side. Troy Saunders holds at the right hash, dances below the goal line, stops on a dime, backhands it over the Grote. The goal scored tonight for the Wolverines with 2. Glides up the half wall, holding at the blue line. Drop feed over towards Paulson. He guns it behind the net. First to it for the Cyclones, Jackson Grolum. And he's able to clear the zone with a pass to Colton Kramer. He Ferraris past the red line over the Grolum right side, drags below the goal line, fakes a centering pass, a shot deflected wide down the goal line. It's taken away by John Ames, the lefty defenseman out of Woodhaven, Michigan. He settles it down for Connor Cunningham. 20 shots for the Wolverines, 13 for the Cyclones here in the second period. It's Billy Brock stopping on a dime at the right point. It deflected wide, and here come the Cyclones out to the red line. It's controlled by Jared Erickson. He tried to whip it down the near wing to Adam Alcott, streaking in, but it's stick free by Bouchard. He settles it down to Brock. He gallops past the red line, chips it behind the net, rolling down the goal line. First to it for the Cyclones, Andrew Lee. He lost it in the slot. Forecheck kicked out by Bouchard to the red line. It's controlled by Nick Azarovitz. Done for the Wolverines at the right dot below the goal line. The wrister steered aside by Gedeke. He tried to fall on the puck, but it skitters down the near corner. It's backhanded far corner and far side. And the Cyclones controlling Dylan Goggin. Out to the red. A puck up in the air, chipped down by Azarovitz, and it clears the zone. That'll do it for the penalties. Back to 5-on-5. It rolls into the slot. Gedeke has to jam it out towards Kurt Hallback. It deflects wide. But Iowa State still controlling. It's backhanded off the glass by Sandy. He guns it behind the net. Gedeke forced to play it off the high wall. It rolls out to the red. It's played by Tony Uglum. Drop feed to Jay Joyo behind the net. It's settled down by Proudlock. And now far wing. The Cyclones control at the left dot. Here's Alcott. Azevedo, a shot no, and it's gloved down by Proudlock to stop play. 128 seconds remaining here in the second period. 2-1, the Wolverines on top of the Cyclones. No goals scored in the second frame. All three coming in the first period. A pair of goals by Tyler Grote for the Wolverines and one by Trevor Sabo, his first of the tournament. What a national trip that Tyler Grote has had. He has 6 goals, which leads the nation right now amongst Division I skaters in this national tournament. The winner moves on to play Lindenwood or Minot State in the championship game on Tuesday. A shot from Graham in the slot, sails high over the crossbar. He chases his miss, controls behind the net, wheels behind. He lost his glove, and it's stick free by Kyle Schnettler. He motors past the red line, gains the attacking zone, high steps the puck over towards the left point. Sterling Cooper can't keep it, spins it out to the left dot to LaForce. Works it far side, a slap shot by Saunders deflected wide. A rolling puck in the slot controlled by Adam Alcott. He motors it over towards Hansen. Dances past the blue line. A shot from the left circle. Skitters high over the crossbar. Dances off the glass. It's chipped in by Alcott down to the near wall. It's picked up by Kyle Schnettler, and he skies it out to the red line. Gloved down by Max Olsen. 70 seconds to go here in the second period. The puck is iced. Fans, don't miss anything in the American Collegiate Hockey Association by tuning into ACHA Tonight, immediately airing after the conclusion of all of our games in the ACHA National Championships, Division I and Division II, with ACHA Men's Division III set to begin tomorrow. You can catch action, highlights, recaps, and analysis on achahockey.org with ACHA Tonight. Face-off won by Michigan-Dearborn, but it rolls out to the red line. Cunningham forced to chip it behind the net. And with a minute to go, it's Jackson Graham controlling. The former Aberdeen wing skies it down the far wall. Alcott, a stretch pass looking for Sabo. The goal scorer tonight for the Cyclones. It chances off his stick, and Olsen forced to chip it off the high glass. It rolls down. It's played by John Ames. The lefty defenseman wheels down the far side, chips it off the boards. It's pinned to the wall. A skying puck at the left hash mark. Ames pins it once again, trying to kill off some time. It's controlled by the Wolverines. In the defensive zone, it's poked out, and now here comes Grote. 2-on-1 out-man rush of Ihuri. Centering pass far side, rolls underneath the stick of Nichols, and it caroms off the wall. Now here comes Sabo for the Cyclones, sashaying in the attacking zone, motoring below the goal line. A backhander gloved down by Proudlock with 15 seconds to go. Shots on goal, 20-15 in favor of Iowa State, so they've caught up in the shots on goal category over the last 5 minutes. It's the captain, Kevin Bouchard, for the Wolverines, taking a face-off against Aaron Azevedo. Bouchard wins it. He wallops it below the left goal line, now behind the net. Nick Azarowitz controlling it, dances below the right goal line, chipped out to the right point, faking a shot, Hallback. He guns it behind the net. Azarowitz controlling. It deflects in the slot, and now at the dot, and that'll do it for the second. 2-1 our score through 40 minutes. The Wolverines maintaining their one-goal lead they had at the end of 20. A phenomenal performance in net by Thomas Proudlock by stopping 9 shots by Iowa State in this second frame. Matt Gedeke stopping 10 shots by the Wolverines. 2-1 our score. And now we set it down ringside to Baz Echevarri.
All right, with Chris Haltner. Second period, you find yourself up 2 goals. You almost had a third one. I mean, what was kind of the message to the refs there? I mean, what was the explanation that they gave you?
Oh no, just say they lost sight of the puck at that time, and our guy went in there and it was covered. So, it's all right though. We're up 2-1 right now. We got 20 minutes left to go. We got to play our game, and hats off to Iowa State. They're a heck of a hockey team. We just got to bear down and finish this one out.
Tyler Grote, I mean, he already has 6 goals in this tournament. What is he meant to have a player like that on your team?
He will be missed. Seniors, Tyler Dalton, and those guys are huge assets to our team, and a guy like him is a huge find, and so no, he will be missed, and he's been a great asset to us. 2 goals tonight, so hopefully we can keep this going.
All right, Chris, best of luck to the last 20 minutes, all right?
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, good luck.
Thanks, Boz. So after 40, it's 2-1 in favor of the Wolverines. No goals scored.
Come on. You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy. Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate. Skate. Pass it. You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck. Come on.
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit chooseyouradventure.net.
Come on. You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy. Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate. Skate. Pass it. You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck. Come on.
Technical difficulty.
Making it right, I will not.
We were sitting at 2-1 after one. We're still sitting at 2-1. Welcome to the ACHA Second Intermission Update. I'm Thomas, that's Jonesy. We're going to bring you up to date on what's going on in this one so far. And Jonesy, I tell you, that second period, I should say, Dearborn hit basically had possession of the puck, possession papers of the puck. They owned it.
Yeah, they certainly did. I'm really surprised that this game is still 2-1. One of the big reasons, we had a big goal get waved off.
Yeah, that was a big moment of this game, and really it could be a lot worse for the Cyclones. There was the goal that was waved off. There were two grade A outstanding saves by Godecki, and then they rang a couple off the pipe as well.
Yeah, tons of scoring chances all over for UMD. Primarily, it was, let me take a look here. It was Kurt Hallbach who very early on in the second period went off for a roughing penalty. I know before we cut to break, last period during the intermission report, we talked about the importance of staying out of the box. And then it looked like Bouchard had a goal. It was announced a goal on the ice, but then it was overturned for a goalie interference, basically one of the UMD players pushing a Cyclone into their own goalie, so waved off, no goal. But other than that, it's really been UMD. They're pushing the pace, they're getting shots on goal, they're the creators in this game. And like you said, they just owned that puck that second period.
Yeah, I mean, really, we can go back to the first, and we mentioned it at the first intermission. It kind of started right after the Iowa State goal. That seemed to light Michigan on fire. In the last 30 minutes, they've owned it. Now, in addition to that, and then to the goal being waved off, I'm going to take a step back into that for a moment. Because it was interesting where it was definitely not an issue with the puck crossing the line, which which I don't think there was any issue at all, I should say. But it was the collision with the goaltender. It didn't look obvious. Like, it was a couple replays in, but then you see Bouchard. I don't know if it was because he pushed a player on him or because he actually kind of jabbed the stick under the arm to get it in.
Yeah, not quite sure what the referees were talking about. I know up here from our angle, we were saying, that's a good goal. We don't want to live in a world where that wasn't a good goal. That was Thomas's line. I had to steal that because it was too good not to use.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Championship game tomorrow, they're going to have to generate some offense. They only had 2 shots throughout that first 10-minute period mark, that first 10-minute mark. And then when we cut to commercial, that first media timeout, they seemed to kind of pick up the pace a little bit more.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a neutralization, if you will, where at least, in hockey it tends to be a game of flows. You have push back. Iowa State gets the goal, Michigan pushes back hard. But the Cyclones did. We started to get back to a little bit of up and down, not just camped out in the Iowa State defensive zone. And really, that's what they got to keep doing.
Yeah, I mean, and we've seen throughout the tournament that media timeout has come in so clutch for a lot of teams that have been struggling because you don't get that during the regular season, right? You're just playing right through. So even just that quick 60 seconds to have a talk to your coach, calm you down, kind of game plan for the next 10 minutes has been huge. So now let's take that break, but expand it into this full 18 minutes of an intermission. What is coach saying to the Cyclones that's going to get them jazzed up to come out here and steal this game and solidify the upset and solidify their spot in the championship game tomorrow?
Yeah, because again, no matter, we can talk about all we want, momentum and chances and shots, but at the end of the day, we're still sitting at a one-shot game. Yep. Folks, we're going to step aside. When we come back, I'm going to make Jonesy answer his own question about what are they saying in the Iowa State locker room. Come on back to the ACHA Intermission Update.
not ready. You're not ready. Let's go!
Hockey heads are special, which is why we protect them with a helmet designed, built, and tested to endure real-world hockey impacts.
Skating was hard at first. Sometimes I fell, but I always got back up. Now when I'm skating, I feel like a rocket, or maybe a race car. Something really fast. It's my second favorite feeling. Scoring is my favorite. I think I like it even more than birthday cake.
Welcome back inside the Comerica Center here and the second intermission update here in National Semifinals game number 1. Again, that's Ryan Jones. We call him Jonesy for short. I'm Thomas Biondo. They call me, well, Thomas for short pretty much is really all we're going to do. But Jonesy, you asked the question before we went to break about, you know, get to the locker room 2-1 and then coach can really try to get a message to the Iowa State Cyclones. What do you think that message is?
Yeah, if I'm Coach Fairman right now, I'm just telling guys who wants to be the hero, right? Who wants to get their name etched in that Cyclone history? Because right now they're fighting for their lives. They got 20 minutes, and I know saying in our locker room was 20 miles, 20 smiles, right? So we're going to be going hard to the net. Afterwards, we're going to be having fun because we're going to be in that championship game, right? So right now I'm looking at where's my offense going to come from? So I know he's got to make some adjustments, but right now you look at each other and you tell each other, you know, he's telling the guys, you guys have gotten here on your hard work, your merit, your talent, right? They belong to be in this tournament. They might be the lower seed, but they've battled hard. They've had to play consecutive days to get here. And just overall, they deserve to be here. They're they're in a 2-1 game with arguably the favorites to win it all in Michigan-Dearborn.
Yep, and now, since you said it, you led me right into it. What are they saying in the Michigan-Dearborn locker room?
So if I'm Coach Chris Haltiner, I'm telling the guys, keep doing what we're doing. They kind of started off a little bit slow. It's a little bit like a boxing match, a little feeling out process, exchanging blows.
And what turned it was that goal.
Right.
Again, I'm sorry to cut in on you, but that Sable goal just completely turned it.
Right, and sometimes, you know, that punch in the mouth, right, getting scored on first really wakes up a team. I've noticed a trend throughout this entire tournament. It's that the lower seed has typically ignited the higher seed by scoring first, right? And sometimes you just kind of need to wake up and say, hey, these guys can play with us, because when you're a team like Michigan-Dearborn, when you got guys like Brock and Grote and just down the line, you know, just it almost seems like Dearborn has 4 faceless top lines, right? Is that you can exchange them out whenever. So if I'm Haltiner, I'm just saying play our game. You guys are the best team here, and they've just dominated so far, right? That second period just felt like domination. And if they do more of the same, they're going to hang on here. But they do need to continue to stay aggressive. We saw last night, I know we brought this up in the first intermission, that Lindenwood, the number 1 seed, who you'll see coming up later on tonight, they kind of sat back on their heels, and Liberty almost made that miraculous comeback. So that would be an absolute nightmare situation for the Wolverines to let Iowa State in this game.
Well, and again, we hate to just be repetitive, but it's just so important. What started that? It was a penalty.
Yep.
When would that goal get waved off? They were on
the power play. Yep.
And Michigan was so good. That was just 14 seconds into the power play after scoring 11 seconds into the first power play. Stay out of the box, Iowa State, and you really do have a chance here.
Yeah, just like there's 3 periods to a hockey game, there's 3 very important components: offense, defense, and often forgot about special teams. So you need to be very mentally tough in this period by staying out of the box. You can't stress it enough, especially when the moments start to wane down and you're looking more and more desperately, frustrations, tensions get high, right? As someone maybe crashing into your goalie, you got to grab someone, and instead of face washing them, just calmly move them out of the side, say, please get out of here, because the last thing you want to do is put yourself in the box and let this Dearborn power play just open up a shooting gallery on the offensive side.
I'm sure that's exactly how you said it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, please get
Please, sir, get out of the crease.
Well, let's go ahead and send it on back to Casey, Sam, and Boz. They're going to have the 3rd period for you here, and it should be a good one. This was the second intermission update on the ACHA Network.
Thanks, Thomas and Ryan. I think I'm missing the memo on the purple and pink ties right now. I was thinking purple, but
with the
I
fact
thought
that
I'd
we've
save
been
purple
going
for the
longer and
possible
longer.
national championship. But after 40 minutes, the University of Michigan Dearborn Wolverines looking to try to make a national championship run for the first time in what would be 27 years. They lead Iowa State 2-1. Glad you could join us. Casey Roll with you alongside Boz Echevarri down in between the glass. Last 20, the Cyclones being outshot by Dearborn 20-15 on the tournament. Dearborn is a perfect 2-0 when leading in the shots on goal after 20. With more, we sent down the Boz.
Yeah, and it's a great tournament to be down here, and a high score in action. And you know, looking at the shot total, we got to talk to Michigan during the break, and you know, should we stay right there in this game, and it's been a solid 40 minutes of hockey. Looking to the last 20, of course, Iowa State looking to come back and claw back the game. Of course, 20 minutes of hockey. We'll see how this one unfolds.
Thanks, Boz. And again, purple bow tie, purple ties and bow ties. I think I missed the memo. I really did think I missed the memo. Dearborn hopes to not miss the memo in getting back to a national championship, something they haven't done in 27 years. They take the ice, going from left to right on your dial. Iowa State from right to left. We remind you that on ACHA tonight, you can catch up on all action in the ACHA National Tournament, Division I and Division II men's hockey, finishing up with Division III set to begin tomorrow. But stay tuned for the National Championship and Division I tournament tomorrow night. The winner of this game takes on the winner of Lindenwood and Minot State, which comes on at 7:30 p.m. Central Time right here from the Comerica Center in downtown Frisco, Texas. What a season Minot State has had. The number 6 seed in the tournament was number 1 last season. They're on a bit of the revenge tour. They defeated the runners-up in Illinois last season and defeated the national champion, the defending national champion at that point, the Adrian College Bulldogs. So Minot State looking to have a Cinderella story type ending, but first they have to see who they could possibly play. Dearborn, their 2 goals came from Tyler Grote, the senior out of Northern Michigan, has a total of 6 goals in tournament play over the course of 3 games, so we hope to see how he concludes his national tournament run. It's Justin Dunn taking a face-off for the Wolverines against Aaron Azevedo, who scored a goal last time out against Ohio off the face-off. It's won by Iowa State. They control. Max Olson smacks the puck off the high wall. It's chipped at neutral ice. Azevedo controls in the defensive zone. He serves it down the far wall. Joey Marsili controlling, and it's called as an icing.
Yeah, I think one of the things to remember here, too, I mean, right now, just looking at the Iowa State bench right next to me, they're all calm, cool, and collected. They've been before, handle these situations. Same thing with Michigan-Dearborn. They're pretty cool, collected, coming out of the dressing room. I think both teams know what they need to do to accomplish and get the job done in the third period.
Troy Saunders chipping the puck off the high wall, pickpocketed by Azevedo, chips it off the right corner boards. It's controlled by Kyle Schnettler. He motors into the defensive zone, chances it over towards Kevin Bouchard, and it's called as an icing.
Not a big deal here, but I mean, looking at the Iowa State bench, they like having these face-offs in this offensive zone. They know that they can put something in there. I think they're pretty amped up for this third period. Know that they could probably get a goal here.
Azevedo taking the face-off against Justin Dunn for the Wolverines in the midst of a career year, 25 goals in the regular season. Off the face-off, it's won by Azevedo. He chips it off the high wall, pickpocketed by Tony Uglum, works it to the point. His shot deflected wide, and it's gloved down by Proudlock to stop play.
Yeah, it was a rolling puck off of the puck of Guggen, and a shot that just rolled up. I think they had space on that top corner if he could fire one off, but just rolled off of his blade and went up high on the goaltender.
No official shots on goal yet this period. We started 20-15 after 40. Face-off won by the Cyclones. It's worked out to the right point. A wrister from Goggin turned aside by Proudlock in the butterfly. It deflects to near corner. Grote gets penalized, and we're going to get a penalty. Grote took a stick to the face. He's down, and Dearborn's going to go on the power play.
Yeah, if you're Iowa State, this is something that you can't take. Right now, you look like a good first couple possession, getting a couple shots. It wasn't on goal, but it was the right idea. But right now, you're going to have to overcome this penalty kill with just under a minute surpassing this period.
It's a high stick on Alcott. The sophomore from Rochester, Minnesota, sits in the box in this Dearborn power play. Back to work, 1 for 2 this afternoon. 3 power play goals in this tournament for a team who was effectively operating at a 39.5% clip in the regular season. It's Justin Dunn taking a face-off.
Stick up there, just under the butt of his stick.
It's Dunn taking a face-off. It's worked back to the blue line to Brock. Slides it to Bouchard. Straight away, Brock unable to keep the zone. It rolls out to the red line. A minute gone here in the third period, and Iowa State finding themselves on the penalty kill. Opponents 3 for their last 59 on the man advantage against the Cyclones. Dearborn with 1 of those 3 goals. It's Matt DeGroat who controls at the right wing. He chips it behind the net. Dunn cradles below the left goal line. Backhands it looking for Bouchard. It's jabbed free by Justin Paulson. It's chipped up the high wall off the stick of Groat. It's kicked along by Bouchard. A scrum for the puck down the near side. Paulson tries to clear it. It's checked down by Groat. No high sticking below the left side. He dances past the defender. Pirouettes at the left circle. Whips it out to Brock, left point. Cross-ice pass to Bouchard. Straight away to Brock. He cradles with his righty hockey stick. Back to Bouchard. Deflects off the stick of Grolum. Brock holding high slot. Snaps a shot. Deflects in the slot. And it's gunned down by Max Olson into the Dearborn defensive zone.
Kind of stark between Michigan's penalty kill and Iowa State's penalty kill. Michigan really aggressive with the puck movement.
Brock lobs it over to Groat in the high slot. Dances past the defender. Drags at the dot. A wrister chested down by Gedeke.
Yeah, good shot there, good puck movement. Sets up an opportunity. Michigan-Dearborn right now doing a great job. A couple of players gassed coming off the bench, but good healthy effort from the Wolverines. First minute 20 in this power play.
First official shot on net by either side here in the third period. Face-off won by Dearborn. Dalton has it won, but it goes right between both Schnettler and Azarovitz. Flown forward checker by Iowa State. Jay Joyo pins it to the wall. It's checked free by Dearborn and by Zachary Nichols. He motors past the red line, gains the attacking zone in the high slot, dances past the defender, falls to the ice, no penalty called. Dug out by Hodgson, centering over towards.
He's down.
And Hodgson is down. We're going to get a stoppage in play, and Dearborn's going to have a chance with a 5-on-3 power play.
Yeah, that didn't look good coming down here. He was completely, just from my vantage point, he looked completely defenseless, and it was a brutal collision that he went head first under the board.
It's Aaron Azevedo sitting in the box, and it's going to be interference by first look. Hodgson, the sophomore from Trenton, Michigan. A good tournament for the 22-year-old. 3 goals in a span of 2 games, just hoping that he's okay to continue, and more importantly, in okay health. The training staff looking at him right now.
He still has, and I like both teams on here, they saw it. The welfare of the player most important right now, and I think that's what,
So Azevedo sits in the box. The only question is whether or not they will call an illegal hit from behind. The initial ruling was interference. And now Hodgson being helped up by the training staff.
Should be of note, too. I mean, that's one of those hits that we've seen referees go back into the box and take a look at to see if they should add something more than a 2-minute or a 5-minute.
And Boz, we should note that yesterday in Dearborn's win against Davenport, it was a major penalty on Dearborn and by Connor Cunningham, which allowed the Panthers to score 2 goals on the power play on a hit that looked just like that. So we'll see whether or not the Wolverines can return the favor and score on the 2-man advantage now. It's 5-on-3 for 18 seconds before it returns to 4-on-3 for a minute and 42 seconds. Hodgson able to walk under his own power into the tunnel, so that's a good sign. And now Azevedo is sent to the bench and now to the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, coming off Hodgson, it did not look good. I mean, his eyes were glassed over. I mean, he kind of didn't know where he was, but it didn't look pretty. He's going back in for repairs, and Azevedo's done for the night. You see the 5 minutes up on the board.
That's a huge penalty, not only for the Cyclones to kill off, but Azevedo is the Cyclones' second leading scorer in the tournament, so losing the 24-year-old from Spokane, Washington, a huge loss for Jason Fallman's crew.
Yeah, Hodgson right now, he's in the back. They're taking the back first of all. He looks fine. He's talking back to the trainers, but it looks like he should be good.
So it's 5-on-3 in favor of Michigan-Dearborn. Sitting in the box for the Cyclones, it's David Rutkowski to serve out the 5-minute major. Justin Dunn taking the face-off for the Wolverines against Goggin. Goggin wins it. He immediately smacks it out to the defensive zone. It's controlled by Billy Brock. Michigan-Dearborn 1 for 3 on the power play this afternoon. Dunn controls, pirouettes down the far side, cross-ice pass to Grote, centering over the Brock. It's back to 5-on-4. Grote holds straight away, a wrister deflected wide. It's smacked in by Andrew Lee for the Cyclones. He guns it down the far wall, but it's kept in by Brock. Holding at the ACHA logo, wrist shot through a couple bodies, bounces wide. A rebound by Spiegel, caroms to the far corner. It's gunned up the half wall, checked free by Dylan Goggin. He can't clear it. It rolls at the blue line, backhanded and deep by Grote. The goal scored tonight for the Wolverines with 2. It's Bouchard holding below the left goal line. Pins it to Spiegel, backhanded to Grote at the right half wall. Straight away to Broke. Cradles with his righty hockey stick, misses a shot, but he gets it back, centering fast, looking for Dunn to flex off a stick, and it rolls behind the net, controlled by Nicholas Sandy. He's unable to clear the zone. 2 shots in this power play for the Wolverines that deflects off the stick of Grote out to the red line. 16:20 to go here in the third, 3:50 left to go on the major penalty. Here's Grote navigating the attacking zone in the high slot, whips it to the left circle, Tyler Dalton cradles the puck. Dances below the goal line, swats it out to Hodgson. Brock straight away at the ACHA logo, centering pass down the far side, Dunn. Back to Grote, left circle, a wrister chested down by Gedeke to halt play.
Yeah, Grote, we're looking for that top side corner. It was wide open. That's kind of been the shot so far, but the thing to remember, as Hodgson comes back, you probably heard him screaming as he comes back onto the ice. So good news for Michigan, but of course, they're still on a score-at-will power play.
So nice to see Justin Hodgson back in action and skating into this power play. So the sophomore from Trenton, Michigan, and the former Springfield Junior Blues of the North American Hockey League is back on this 5-on-4. It's Tyler Dalton taking the face-off for Dearborn, and off the draw, it's won by the Wolverines. It's kept in right point. Kyle Schnettler plays it to Hodgson. Cross-ice pass near side to Zachary Nichols. Fakes a shot. Pirouettes out to the blue line. He cradles and smacks it far side. Hodgson left circle, a shot. Chested down by Gedeke. So with 3:14 remaining on the Dearborn power play, Gedeke has
just looked over at the
shots.
Iowa State bench. They asked him if he was okay, and he gave him the good old thumbs up, and let's go play hockey.
Always nice to see sportsmanship from opposing teams. Brock holding left point, smacks it to Grote left side. It deflects off a stick of Erickson. He guns it down behind the net. Bradlock controls.
Yeah, Grote was looking for a slash. He kept complaining about it. Refs not buying it. And I think thinking about the officials this tournament, they've been letting players play through a lot of potential penalties.
It's Brock controlling below the goal line. A centering pass out in front. Dunn can't clear it, and it's Brock holding at the left circle. He lobs it down the far corner, and it deflected wide. Behind the net, Dunn controlling. Grote left side. Spins past the defender, takes a check to the wall by Sabo, and it's gunned down. A final from our Division II bracket. Northeastern defeating UMass Amherst in the Division II side. Here's a shot shorthanded by Iowa State with Alcott. It deflects to the far corner. It's controlled by Brock. He whips it behind the net. Dunn controlling. He pins it to the wall. On a forecheck, here's Uglum below the left side. A shot from the dot deflected
against
wide.
Michigan.
And now we're going to go 5-on-4. A shot deflects over the crossbar of Proudlock, and we're going to be 4-on-4 hockey bars. A huge play that might turn the tides in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. An interference call, and that'll basically go 4-on-4 for the rest of that major. Suffice it to say, right now we're going to have Iowa State's best skaters out here to compete with Michigan's best skaters.
So it's Billy Brock sitting in the box for interference. The sophomore from Brookstown, Michigan. And we're 4-on-4 for the second time today. It's Jackson Grolum for the Cyclones taking a face-off against Nick Azarovitz, and off the face-off, Grolum fires one that skitters wide over the glove side of Proudlock, and ushering up the far side, Silas Johnson takes a hit down the left half wall, puts the puck to the end boards. It's dug out by Colton Kramer for the Cyclones, and he works it far side to Grolum. So it'll be a power play for Michigan. Dearborn with 4 seconds after this penalty on Brock expires, but it'll basically remain 4-on-4 for the duration of the penalties. Far corner, Johnson at the left hash, deflected wide. It's controlled by Adam Alka, the righty stick handler. Skies the puck out to neutral, glove down by Connor Cunningham. The former Nashville Junior Predator plays it ahead towards Sterling Cooper. It deflects off his stick, and Max Olson controls for the Cyclones. The lefty defenseman plays it along towards Jared Erickson. He flubs one on net. It's jabbed aside by Proudlock. It deflects behind the corner. 59 seconds on the Dearborn penalty. A minute to go on the Cyclones penalty. Chipping away for control of the puck near side. It's Chase Best and Tyler Grote. A couple bodies scrapping out in front. It's kept in Olson. Cross ice pass far side, a shot by Hallback, chested down by Proudlock.
Yeah, it was a tough save there as Hallback, he shot that through a couple of players, and Proudlock had to make a great save there as it went through a couple of skaters just going right in front of him.
Thomas Proudlock has faced 17 shots since the end of the first period. He has made 17 saves. The senior from Southgate, Michigan, looking to make one final run to a national championship. Nicholas Sandy skates up to the right circle. Off the face-off, it's controlled by the Cyclones. Grolum backhands it down to near corner. It's dug out by Tony Uglum. Plays it to the left point. Justin Paulson keeps the zone. Holds at the left hash. Drags past a couple defenders. It's backhanded free by Andrew Spiegel and down. No, and now an icing because it's 4-on-4. Shots on goal, 24-16 in favor of Dearborn over Iowa State.
Yeah, still about 28 seconds here. It'll be a good kill. So far, a good kill from Iowa State. Puts them in a good position to actually look for an equalizing goal after they kill the minor 4-second power play or penalty kill.
Spiegel drives below the goal line. Holds on the backhand behind the net. It's stick free by Justin Paulson for the Cyclones, and he motors ahead. Lobs it over to Sabo, who ushers it up the left half wall. It's checked free by Spiegel. It rolls out to the red line. It's fluttering from Grolum on net. It's checked down, and Brock comes out of the box along with Rutkowski. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey, so Dearborn is 1 for 4 on a man advantage. It rolls down off the stick of Saunders. Icing is washed. It's won by Kurt Hallback. The righty defenseman wheels it along towards Max Olson. He backhands it to Tony Uglum. Stretch pass looking towards Colton Kramer at the flex wide. It's controlled by Connor Cunningham. A career high in points this season with 13 in the regular year for the sophomore. Rolling puck at the red. Kramer can't keep it in. It's chipped up the wall. And it's John Ames, the defenseman, out of Woodhaven, Michigan, for the Wolverines. Pinning it to the wall. A couple bodies scrapping for it. Cunningham along there with them. It's controlled by Uglum. Skies it out to the left point. Hallback can't keep it in, and it's back behind the net of Gedeke. Gedeke has faced 9 shots by Dearborn since the first period. He has been perfect, 9 for 9 in save opportunities. It's
if you're going to stay in this game, it does revolve around against goaltending, and so far, after that first period, Iowa State's goaltending has been marvelous.
Justin Hodgson falls to the ice. No penalty called. Grolum holding right side. A shot on net, glove down.
I did have a moment's attack to Hodgson as he was on the bench, of course, right between the benches. And Hodgson I kind of asked about what happened on that play, and he just looks at me and he goes, I'm probably going to need to see a chiropractor when I go back home.
You and me both, my friend. I'll need to get a good look in with how many times we've been standing and walking around.
Get our physical fitness going. I mean, we're at a hockey tournament.
I mean, we're the broadcasters, so I'm not sure if that applies to us. A whistle down the far side, and we have another face-off upcoming.
Yeah, it was a hand pass. Got cut off there, but the faceoff's going to come out of the Michigan zone.
You know, Boz, I can't ever think of a time where I've ever needed to go to a chiropractor. I think the only time that I might have needed to go was when I was lugging my stuff into my college dorm my freshman year. And even then, it was mostly my mom and my dad, my aunts, who were helping me carry stuff up. I think I was mostly going to the chiropractor to take a look at the sights.
And I think with that, we'll take a break right now. 10:59 left in period 3. The Wolverines still up 2-1. You're watching the ACHA 2019 Men's Divisional Tournament on the ACHA Network.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Budget Car Rental, the preferred rental agency of the ACHA. Hogan Transportation, official tournament partners of the 2019 ACHA National Championships. Edge Protect, protecting goalie skate blades since 2004 and official sponsor of the 2019 ACHA National Championships.
Back in downtown Frisco, 2-1 our score. The Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines on top of the Iowa State Cyclones. Semifinal number 1 here from the Comerica Center. Face-off won by the Cyclones. Tony Uglum can't keep the zone. It's smacked in by Joey Marsasoli, and now we'll get a penalty. Marsasoli got hit hard at neutral ice, and Dearborn is going to go on the penalty kill with just over halfway through the second.
Yeah, of course, any play right now in the about 10:50 left. So any play that's going on, like Iowa State's going to be over. They're going to want to call so that they can get on the power play and maybe even up the score right now.
The call goes on Andrew Spiegel, and it's for elbowing. So the senior from Rearview, Michigan, sits in the box, and Iowa State has a chance to tie things up at 2.
Iowa State right now trying to sort out who they want on the power play.
The Cyclones on the man advantage 0 for 2 this afternoon. Michigan-Dearborn 1 for 4. Face-off won by the Cyclones. Matt Olson controls left point. Smacks it over towards Uglum below the goal line. He one-hands it out towards Colton Kramer. He lost it. The puck skitters high up off the glass. It's gloved down. Uglum controlling. Centering pass into the high slot. Deacon pass to defender Sandy, deflected wide. And it's chipped off the wall by Troy Saunders out to the red line. 24-18 are shots on goal. Dearborn in this period just 3 power play shots on. The first power play for Iowa State, they only managed to get 2 shots on net. Controlling down the far side, Colton Kramer holds, spinning, centering pass looking for Olsen. It deflects in the slot. Brock tries to clear it. It's kept in by Alcott, holding at the left circle. Wedges it below the goal line. Work back up to Sandy, left point, driving below the side. It's centered by Olsen, straight away a shot. Deflected off the stick, kept in by Alcott. Straight away, Olsen at the right circle. Arister deflected off the stick of Barlow. It's worked out down the far side. Straight away, Sandy smacks the pass below the goal line. Uglum a centering feed, deflects off a sliding Kyle Schnettler, and then rolls at the left hash mark. 54 seconds on the power play, and it's cleared out by Dearborn with Dalton.
Yeah, it was a really good defensive play. That was an Iowa State player who was left all alone on that near side post from your vantage point there, Casey.
Uglum gains the attacking zone, drifts down the right circle. A centering pass, unable to connect with Erickson. It bounces off the high wall. He digs it out at the left hash mark, and it's gunned down by Connor Cunningham into the right side of Gedeke. 25 seconds remaining on the power play for Iowa State. Erickson ushers it up the red line in the attacking zone below the left goal line, drives behind the net, holds on the backhand, pinned to the wall by Cunningham. It's chipped over the Sabo right hash mark. He plays a skittering puck up the wall, And Erickson drags it ahead at the right circle. Plays it straight away. Back to Sabo right circle. Arister deflected wide. Rebound deflected off the stick of Goggin. And that'll do it for the power play. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. It's chipped up off the high wall. Spiegel has a chance for a breakaway. It rolls down. But Gadecki comes out of the net to play it.
Yeah, puck rolled on him a little bit. That's why it's hard to handle.
Tyler Grote chips it down. Here's Brock at the right hash mark. Drives below the goal line. Whips it to Arazovic straight away. Arister turned aside in the butterfly by Gadecki. It's driven to the far corner. Spiegel just out of the box. One hands it down the far wall and out to the red line. 8:15 remaining here in the third period. Dearborn looking to make it back to the national championship for the first time in 27 years. Coincidentally, that came against these Iowa State Cyclones. Andrew Lee ushers in the attacking zone, smacks it behind the net, dug out by Grote for Dearborn, for check god. Joey Marcicilli at the left hash. Guns it behind the net, kept in right point by Nicholas Sandy. He wraps it behind the net. Tommy Hansen tries to jam it free, pinning to the end wall. A couple bodies for both sides. Michael Hodgson for the Wolverines along with Nick Azarowitz.
And Michigan would be content here if they just kill the puck on the end boards.
It's cleared by Chase Best on a backhander down the near side. And now Bouchard gets it to LaForce. Back over the Best. Gains the blue line. High steps over towards Bouchard. Right circle. A shot deflects off the stick of Joey Marcicilli. The puck skitters down the far corner, pinning a couple bodies up against the glass. And it's Andrew Spiegel over the Cooper. He lost it. It's rolled out to the red line. It's chipped in by Andrew Lee. And here come the Cyclones. A shot from below the goal line by Jacob Erickson. A skying clearing attempt out to the red line. It's gobbled up on a couple hops by the Cyclones with Lee. A shot by Paulson from the left point, steered the side. And not out. A clearing attempt that time by Justin Dunn, reflects wide. Here's a one-timer on a spinning shot by Uglum. Turned aside to the far corner, out to the right goal line. Kyle Schnettler holds below. It deflected wide. Dearborn trying to clear the puck. Nothing going. Paulson chips it below the left side. It's kept in. Adam Alka, the lefty skater out of Rochester, Minnesota, trying a centering feed. Deflects off a stick. Dunn has it down the right boards. He chips it off the high glass, and it caroms out to the red line. 6:10 remaining here in the third. Shots on goal 25-21 in favor of the Cyclones, so a huge shot discrepancy in favor of Iowa State over the last 10 minutes. They lead the shots on goal column 8-2. It's controlled by Max Olson in the defensive zone. Smacks it over towards Jackson Graham. He gets checked off the high wall by Brock. He motors past the red line in the attacking zone. In the high slot, cross-ice feed looking for Grote, deflected wide. Graham at the red line. Drop feed to Nicholas Sandy. Wheels in the attacking zone. Pinned off the puck by Grote. It caroms to the near corner. Grote takes a huge hit by Jared Erickson, and with 5.5 to go right now, Dearborn trying to kill off some time. They are able to clear it out past the red. A rolling puck played by Gadecki. He smacks it toward the far corner. All three goals were scored in the opening period. 2 for Tyler Grote and 1 for Trevor Sabo.
Yeah, speaking of Tyler Grote, I mean, we haven't really called his name a whole lot in the third period. I think Iowa State right now doing a good job of kind of taking him out of the game.
Here's a shot from the point, deflected wide. A rebound, a second chance by C.J. Banser, and a sprawling glove save made by Proudlock.
Yeah, it looks like he lost a hand on it. He came all the way out and decided that he saw a couple of players, and you know what? I got to get on top of this.
So Proudlock keeps it 2-1. Just under 5 minutes to go. The senior netminder in one of his best seasons as a goalie, a career best in goals against average this season and save percentage. He's trying to dance his way to a national championship at a timeout taken on the ice.
Yeah, I think this is a good one by Chris Haltemeyer. And I mean, just looking at this Michigan bench right now, they're kind of gassed right now. kind of wondering what hit him right now. And kind of this Iowa State bench, just what they're looking at it right now. There's a lot of confidence between the coaches and the players. A lot of encouragement between the lines. They're pretty close, and they can kind of feel it in the last 5 minutes.
And Boz, this is something different compared to what Dearborn's done in the tournament. Yesterday against Davenport, they took their timeout late in the second, so with less than 5 minutes to go here in the third, Chris Halterner's talking with his Wolverines. What do you think he's talking about?
Well, I think this is really just like, hey, we need to reset ourselves and start playing hockey and just go back to the basics of what we know.
And honestly, Boz, if you're Iowa State, how do you use this stoppage in play to try to keep up the momentum after having peppered the net over the last couple minutes?
Yeah, there's a lot of NHL coaches that sometimes what they end up saying is like, look, a lot of coaches want to save them for the last couple of minutes when they might want to drop a page, but sometimes a lot of coaches feel like they just need to call a timeout, and they end up doing it. I know you only have one, but you never know what happens off of that timeout.
Face-off one by Dearborn. It's cleared out by Bouchard. He plays it ahead of Spiegel. He high steps in the attacking zone. In the high slot, fans on the shot. Dunn trying a rebound. It deflects wide. It's chipped out by Adam Alcott, but not out of the zone. Bouchard holding at the right hash. Pinned to the wall by Alcott. A battle of number 15's fighting for it, and Alcott for Iowa State clears the zone. 25-22 are shots on goal. Dearborn looking to hold on to move on to the national championship. Iowa State tries to continue their bid for what could be their second national championship. One of the more storied programs in Division I hockey. 27 national championship appearances entering the tournament. Tied for most all-time, of course, with Ohio, who they beat yesterday. It's Tony Uglum pirouetting toward the right hash mark. A centering pass deflects off the stick of Colton Kramer. Whipped down the far corner. Uglum can't keep the zone. And Brock sends a saucer pass out to Grote. It kicks at the red line. And it's lofted by Kramer as far to the blue line, but it's kept in by Connor Cunningham. His shot deflects off the glove of Gedeke, and Iowa State controls. A very mellow special teams performance by both sides, just a combined 1 for 7. Sabo from the blue line. His shot flutters past the glove side of Proudlock. A rebound from the right point by Nicholas Sandy deflected wide. It caroms to near corner. Dug out by Michael Hodgson. It's kept in by Iowa State. A shot from the right circle. They score! Nicholas Sandy from the circle!
Right there, open blocker side. Just missed the far side post, and that's how this game gets tied.
Nicholas Sandy, the senior from Calgary, Alberta, scores his first goal of the national tournament. And with just over 3 minutes to go, the Cyclones aren't done yet.
Yeah, it was left wide open, crept off that blue line, and he walked right there, and you can see the shot, he fires it. Labeled for the back of the net. What a great goal to tie this up.
The goal for Nicholas Sandy comes at the 16-minute and 41-second mark. Face-off at center, won by the Wolverines. It's Kyle Schnettler wheeling in the attacking zone. Chips it behind the net. It's dug out by Max Olson. Smacks it down the near wall. Jared Erickson. He can't clear the zone off an aggressive Dearborn forecheck. It rolls down the far side. John Barlow keeps it at the left hash mark for the Wolverines. Pirouettes below the goal line. Pins it to the wall. Dances past the defender and pivots over the Ward's Hodgson. He holds at the left goal line. Plays it to Tyler Dalton. Backhanded to Barlow. His centering feed deflects off the skate of Robbie McLean. It rolls up the near wall. Hodgson gets pinned to the end boards. 3 goals in this tournament. Hoping to find number 4 and hoping that that 4th possible goal could send Dearborn to the national championship. Hodgson holds right circle. Muscles it up the half wall. Trying to play towards Sanders. It deflects out down the near goal line, and it's out off a clearing attempt by Sandy. And it's called as an icing.
Yeah, just completely bent over the Iowa State players. They're completely gassed. I wonder if we're going to see a timeout right here. And it looks like Jason Fairman just did. He's asking for it.
So now just a couple moments after Dearborn's timeout, Iowa State and Jason Fairman elect to use theirs.
A lot of tired players on the Cyclone bench, especially after that shift. They're out on the ice for a long time. Dearborn right now, they're looking for that opportunity for that go-ahead goal with 2:18. And it's kind of the message right now. They're not riding up any player, and it's a pretty relaxed feel just down on the bench.
The first of two semifinals. The winner between Dearborn and Iowa State moves on to take on Lindenwood or Minot State. If you miss any action today, be sure to tune into ACHA Tonight on achahockey.org. Full recaps, analysis, highlights, and more on ACHA Tonight on achahockey.org. Our own Matt Coma, along with special guests, appear nightly. Division II hockey right now also in tournament play. Division III hockey set to begin tomorrow, the same day as the national championship game. Don't want to miss it, ACHA Tonight. So 2:18 remaining here in the third period. The faceoff comes into Dearborn attacking zone. Boz, how do you respond if you're Dearborn after allowing the game-tying goal?
I mean, you really have to come out with the same energy. I think right now we'll see that from Dearborn. They look pretty rested, and looking at the bench right now, a lot of them are still up, trying to take a peek.
Bashar, the backhander, deflects in the slot. Rebound by Spiegel, and it's chested down by Gedeke. What a performance by the senior from Iowa. Just north of Iowa State. It remains 2-2.
Yeah, Matt Gedeke coming in 2 goals on 64 shots into this tournament. And throughout this tournament, actually 969 save percentage. So he's doing a job. I think we were looking for good goaltending in this matchup so far. It's been an awesome hockey game. I don't know about your feelings about this case.
I'll tell you what, Boz, we've had a lot of close finishes. This one might just be the most exciting down the road. Zachary Nichols pins it to the end wall. It's checked free by Aaron Azevedo. He fires one down the far side. Sabo keeps it in, but on a forecheck, Michigan-Dearborn left point. It deflects off the stick of Brock and into the bench to stop play.
Yeah, it looks like it actually hit the linesman and Cameron Dykstra. He looks to be okay, though. I was going to drop the puck for him.
You don't want to have black puck hit white and black shirt. That's the objective of the game, because that's when play stops. And right now, you don't want play to stop. And with these stoppages, Boz, who do you think this benefits right now?
It's kind of tough to say. I mean, both teams are pretty amped up right now. Look out.
A rainbow at the red line. It's corralled by Dearborn. And in the attacking zone, Bouchard has it nudged off. It's Max Olson controlling now. Bouchard on a forecheck. Right circle, fans on a shot. Deflects in the slot. Olson controlling, and the lefty defenseman glides past the red line. Lobs it to Adam Alcott. In the attacking zone, right side. In the high slot, it's nubbed free by Spiegel. And now we get a whistle and an offside.
Yeah, I want just to play on a... I don't think we're going to have a penalty here.
The ruling was an offside, but right now Tony Uglum down on his left knee. So he might just be a little bit shaken up. The training staff taking a look at him right now.
Well, just going back to your question, a back-and-forth game with plenty of stoppages right now. I think it might favor Iowa State just because of the fact that they've played 3 games in 3 days, and that's definitely tough. Just so that they can kind of regroup a little bit. Of course, Michigan-Dearborn, they look pretty well rested. They have everyone up on their bench, everyone ready to get this one going.
Especially after their shellacking of Oklahoma a couple days ago, something that Dearborn not used to. They finished the season 21-1 in independent play. Faceoff comes out to neutral ice. It's Jacob Erickson taking the faceoff against Billy Brock. And off the tie-up, Brock pushes it back to Connor Cunningham for the Wolverines. On a turnover below the goal line, Andrew Lee nearly turns a shot on that. It deflected wide. Paulson unable to keep it in. A fight for the puck at the red line. It's chipped back on the backhand by Adam Alcott. 68 seconds remaining here in the third period. Possibly an overtime game in our national championship semifinal. It's down, icing waved off. Nicholas Sandy plays it. Chips it off the high wall looking for Erickson. Deflects off the glass and down into the Dearborn D zone. Tyler Grote, the goal scorer tonight for Dearborn with 2 goals. Chips it behind the net. The Cyclones controlling Uglum. Banks it off the high wall. It's Dylan Goggin racing in the attacking zone right side. Dances below the goal line. The backhand shot on that deflected wide. The puck is still free. It's chipped along by Trevor Sabo. He tries to control behind the net. It's chipped along by Troy Saunders. He flubs it out to the red line. It's backhanded in by Goggin. And now Dearborn controls at neutral before it's finally flubbed down by Tommy Hansen. He lobs one up on net. Paulson forced to glove it down. 10 seconds to go. It's Brock backhanding at the red line. Spiegel controls, one touch to Schnettler. It's lob free. Spiegel enters the zone offside. So 10 seconds remaining here in the third period. The faceoff comes out to neutral ice.
Yeah, this one, there's still opportunity for one last rush to score a goal, and I'm sure both teams are looking for that. Of course, no timeout. We might be headed to overtime, but if one team does get a rush, look out because we might have a goal before the regulation period ends.
Alcott wins the draw. It's lobbed down by Nicholas Sandy. Nearly a possible centering feed or a possible scoring chance for Hunter Dolan. It's lobbed down, and that will do it here in regulation. 2-2 after a full 60 minutes. The game-tying goal, less than 5 minutes to go for Iowa State. And the semifinal will head into overtime. Shots on goal 26-24 in favor of Dearborn after 60 minutes. So we'll get an ice cut, and we'll head back out for overtime. We'll send it to break. When we return, our third period intermission report with Ryan Jones and Thomas Biondo. You're watching the 2019 American Collegiate Hockey Association National Championships on the ACHA Network.
Visit the merchandise table on the upper concourse of the America Center for all your 2019 ACHA Nationals hats, shirts, sweatshirts, and more. Mike Barron Championship Rings, the official ring vendor for all ACHA National Champions and ACHA Hall of Famers. Every championship ring has grease. Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
She loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways, and in grand ones.
Dad.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
Skating was hard at first. Sometimes I fell, but I always got back up. Now when I'm skating, I feel like a rocket, or maybe a race car. Something really fast. It's my second favorite feeling. Scoring is my favorite. I think I like even more than birthday cake.
You ready? This guy's not ready. You're not ready. Let's go!
Hockey heads are special, which is why we protect them with a helmet designed, built, and tested to endure real-world hockey impacts.
Welcome back inside the Comerica Center, where if you're just joining us, where have you been? This has been a fantastic hockey game between the University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and the Iowa State Cyclones, and we're all locked up at 2 so far with 60 in the books.
Yeah, we are. It's been a great game so far. Iowa State just giving it to all they got right now to Michigan-Dearborn, and it's the perfect sentence I'm about to say: free hockey.
That's the best. It gets no better than that. Let's talk about how we got here. Early in this game, it was really kind of a choppy start. It was a choppy start all the way through about the 8-minute mark, when Saba would turn and just kind of flick one towards the net. Proudbox got the post covered, but oh wait, it's going to flutter over his shoulder and in, and it was 1-0 Cyclones.
Yeah, Iowa State was just kind of set up this unsolvable forecheck, good turnover, and I mentioned it in the first intermission, just a changeup of a shot. Proudlock just a little bit off the post there, just squeaks right over that shoulder. 1-0 Cyclones.
And as you would expect, the team that fell behind took off.
Yeah.
The Wolverines would end up scoring 2 goals after that, and really just 2 very pretty plays.
Right, and who else other than Tyler Grote coming in there, scores the equalizer, right? We've said this over and over again. It kind of woke up, that first Iowa State goal woke up the Wolverines, and Grote answers the call. And then after a Cyclones penalty, only needed 11 seconds. Billy Brock to Tyler Grote, power play goal, 2-1, and that's where we were for quite a bit of the game.
Yes, absolutely right. It was that power play goal was the first given up by Iowa State in the 3 games of the tournament. They had killed their first 7 of the tournament, but Grote made sure that didn't stay for very long. So, and the other thing that we found, we want to mention though about that first period, it was just about as good of a period as you can have if you were the goaltender Mike Jagadic.
Yeah, he was on fire. I mean, this Michigan offense just has so many different weapons. He was in position, he was controlling his rebounds, covering pucks, and just seems pretty much unsolvable for that Michigan team right throughout the second period. And there was a lot of dominance, not a lot of shots from Iowa State, so he's not getting help on the offensive zone. But our good friend Jay Sewell always likes to point out that a goalie can feel really comfortable when they see a lot of shots like that.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about that second period. 3 things the Wolverines are going to be really regret, or just be upset about, not necessarily things that they could have controlled. A goal that was waved off, they hit a goal post, and you're going to 2 of the nicest saves that you're going to see were turned in by Gadecki.
Yeah. Just a couple of chances. That post, one of the worst sounds you could hear. It was Grote looking for his third, hits the crossbar, up and out. Gadecki just standing on his head left and right. Nothing more that you could say other than some missed opportunities there. And they quite frankly, it leads to our third period where they let Iowa State back in it.
They did, and it was kind of a dicey ending. As what needs to be mentioned too is that Iowa State penalty kill, which we mentioned just a moment ago about how good it was. They give up the goal. They had to kill a 5-on-3 for roughly, I have it written down, I think it was about 45 seconds.
Yeah,
I think it
something
was.
like that.
About 45 seconds. They kill that off and then take the 4 minutes, a major time out of it too. But when we come back, we're going to tell you about the third period and then get you ready for the overtime session because we still have one more period to go. You're watching the ACHA Intermission Update.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
There are a few things that come along that change the course of history. Inventions or developments that reshape society. They usually aren't appreciated at first. In fact, they're often scoffed at. What good will that be?
Hello? Hi.
Surely that can't be practical.
She loves to see you.
But then, slowly, over time, the greatness of these achievements become manifest.
Hi!
Until one day, you ask yourself how you ever lived without them. That's the nature of turning points. They bring us to new roads and new heights. They open doors we never thought possible. So it's important that we go forward together.
I'm here with Gina.
That our growth might not just benefit the great, but the good also. In small ways, and in grand ones.
Dad.
The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much. It is whether we provide enough for those who have too little.
At Wilson Electronics, we push every day to amplify the power of communication, to connect those who love and those who cannot live without it.
Skating.
Overtime intermission report now as we are headed to our first overtime. And before the break, we last left you talking about a big 5-on-3 kill by the Iowa State Cyclones late in that second period.
Yeah, Azevedo got ejected from the game for a boarding call, got the 5-minute major. But then Brock, with about 2 minutes left for the Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines, picked up a penalty of his own. So we went 2 minutes, 4-on-4, huge kill for the Cyclones, and all of a sudden you just started to feel the pendulum swing. You said it yourself, Thomas. They kill this, they got a chance.
Yeah, and that was a huge thing because both teams had committed penalties. You know, we talked about it a lot, and I hate shows that sound like broken records, but it's really affected this game in particularly so much, those power plays and penalty turns. And like you said, when Brock went off, then Spiegel went off for a moment. And I think it was actually it was much later after that. But after Spiegel went off, that's when Iowa State started turning the flow, and that's what led to the goal by Sandy from Olsen and Erickson.
Yeah, so Olsen and Erickson and a little bit of tic-tac-toe passing, and then Nick Sandy barred down. Yeah. Just an absolute rip from the top of the dot. Just absolute beautiful shot. You'll see it on ACHA tonight. That's highlight reel material. And we got a tie game. Now we got some free hockey.
And there's nothing better, as you mentioned. Those are the greatest words you're going to have is free hockey, bonus hockey, next goal wins hockey to go to a championship game.
Right.
So with that, we're going to look forward to this one here, the extra session. You got a winner for us? You got a couple of guys? Who are you looking at?
I mean, for me, Tony Uglum of Iowa State, he had the game-winning goal yesterday. We'll see if there's some magic left in this number 5 Iowa State. Dare I say it, maybe a team of destiny, right? The underdog story, having to play on consecutive days. And then who else would I go to for Michigan-Dearborn other than Tyler Grote? He's already got 6 points in the tournament. Every time he touches the puck, it looks like he's gonna score. The kid's absolutely electric. Tyler Grote is my pick for the Wolverines. Book it.
Well, since you stole mine, I'm going to try to be different.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to take a chance here and really try to be different. And I'm going to say that off of a Grote shot, the rebound will be put in by Billy Brock for the Wolverines. But if that doesn't happen, I think, get this, you're going to love this. Well, I think we're going to see the second goal of the game from Trevor Sabo.
Okay.
To help them win this game. Folks, there's a lot of hockey to get. We'll see if we're right. We'll come back at the end of this one or the next intermission, should there be another intermission, and we'll see how we did on our guesses. After this game, though, we do want to let you know we got one coming up, Minot State and Lindenwood, which should be just as good as the one we're watching now. But, folks, we do have overtime hockey. It's going to be a fantastic run to the finish here. We're going to send it back to the boys as this overtime intermission is wrapped up.
Back inside the Comerica Center, we're going to overtime. 2-2 our score through 60 minutes between the number 2 University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and the number 5 Iowa State Cyclones. A Cyclone goal with less than 5 minutes to go has tied it up at 2. The winner moves on to the national championship tomorrow to take on the winner of number 1 Lindenwood and number 6 Minot State. Glad you can join us. Casey Roll with you alongside Boz Echevarri. It's been an interesting game for Iowa State, and it's got a lot of historical implications to it. The first meeting between these two teams in 27 years, the 1992 ACHA National Tournament Championship, the first ever ACHA National Championship game, and it was won by Iowa State, their lone national championship win. They look to make it number 2 27 years later. If you miss anything from today's games, be sure to catch ACHA tonight on achahockey.org, a recap of Division I semifinal matchups and Division II tournament play, all on achahockey.org. The Division III tournament begins tomorrow, same day as our championship game, so be sure to tune into everything ACHA on ACHA tonight. Very special thanks to Sam Fleming, Boz Echevarri, all our off-camera personnel, our cameramen, Ryan Jones and Thomas Biondo holding down our intermission coverage. But Boz, talking about this Iowa State team, they came back from a goal down with less than 5 minutes to go. After the intermission, who does this really benefit with this layoff before with the ice cuts and getting back on the ice?
Yeah, I think the big one here, it should favor Iowa State. I know Michigan does have all the rest, but right now the goaltender and Matt Gedecki, he's been pitching a shutout ever since that second period. Of course, the 2 late goals from Iowa State. We'll see what happens here in the overtime period. Always adventurous to even periods because of the long change. And I know Iowa State's coach was a little bit worried about that, so we'll see what happens.
And off the face-off to begin overtime, it's won by the Wolverines. They control moving from right to left. We remain at 5-on-5 for ACHA overtime, so it's not like the NHL where they go 3-on-3. Andrew Spiegel holds at the left circle. His shot deflected wide. It's turned over by Adam Alcott, who flips it out to neutral ice. It's controlled by Kyle Schnettler, the junior from Metamora, Michigan for the Wolverines. Flips it to Justin Hodgson, who fires a shot high off the glass. And it pinballs behind in that line change made by Dearborn. The game started with a goal by Tyler Grote, a goal by Trevor Sabo for the Cyclones, and another Grote goal. No scoring in the second, and then a goal with less than 5 minutes to go in the third period by Max Olson. Has us where we're at right now. Rolling puck in the defensive zone, controlled by John Ames for the Wolverines. Slides it down the far side, controlled by Grote, holds at the right circle, centering pass looking for Ames. It deflects wide, and the Cyclones control. Dylan Goggin, the sophomore, plays it over for Sabo. The puck rolls at neutral ice. It's picked up by Grote. He motors in the attacking zone. High steps down the left half wall. It's pickpocketed away by Goggin. He stretches one to Sabo. Dances past the defender, but it's stick check free by Chase Best. It's backhanded by Thomas Proudlock over toward the far boards. Forecheck on by Iowa State. It's kept in at the left wall by Sabo, but it's poked free by Zachary Nichols. Stretches one near side over towards Grote in a high slot. He gets pinned to the ice. No penalty. It's picked up by Joey Marsasili, and he wraps it down the far boards. One shot on goal for the Dearborn Wolverines here in overtime, none for the Cyclones. Iowa State head coach Jason Fairman looking to possibly come up with one of the bigger upsets in recent tournament history. It's Nicholas Sandy, the righty defenseman, plays it to Jackson Growlum. He fires on a shot. That's gloved down by Proudlock.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting. I was talking to Scott Isman before the period. He actually had to let me on the bench as the teams were coming out. But he was telling me his heart rate monitor, it was up around 150, and he said it hasn't been like that for a while.
Yours and mine both, BE. I mean, even as just announcers and as fans, you have a high heart rate. Just think if you're a player or a coach. Meanwhile, a shot off the stick of Uglum sails high over the crossbar off the face-off. It's controlled by Max Olson. Pins it behind the goal line. A centering pass by Alcott, deflected wide, and it's skied up over the glass and into the Iowa State bench.
Yeah, look out over here. But I'm sure if you're at home watching the game on the ACHA network, I'm sure that you might be checking your Apple Watch or some sort of product to measure your heart rate to see how you're doing.
See, I still have a Brooks Brothers chronograph. It's one of those old school actual hand watches which your grandfather or dad might have had in the 1970s, so I'm just old school with that. That's just me. I can't speak for the rest of the people in my age generation 20 and up. Skying puck in the defensive zone, collected by Goggin into the E zone. He flips it over to Uglum, a turnover in the high slot, whiffing on a shot, Bouchard, and here come the Cyclones. 3-on-2 odd man rush if they hurry. Uglum from the circle. His shot deflects off the stick of Saunders and into the mesh.
I think what's interesting about this game, too, I mean, if you look at Dearborn, Grote's kind of been effectively taken out of the game, as well as Uglum on the other side for the Cyclones. So, I mean, if we're going to get a score right now, both teams keying on the star players for the opposing team, but right now it should, that game-winning goal probably score from someone else.
It's Dylan Goggin taking the face-off for Iowa State, won by Dearborn and by Honshin. Flips the puck over toward the left half wall to Silas Johnson. He flips one on net, a knuckle puck gloved down by Matt Godecke, who's faced the last 26 shots and has made 24 saves.
Not a bad idea just to send this on frame. We saw the Lindenwood
face-off won by the Cyclones.
Off a couple ice and a couple of sticks, and resulted in the first goal of the game from Liberty, just rolling up and bouncing over Lindenwood's goaltender.
It deflects off the stick of Bouchard. The rolling puck settled down by Johnson. Centering pass, Bouchard holds in the backhand. Rendering shot, deflects off the far corner. The Wolverines still control. Behind the net, Dawson Richard plays it to Johnson, right half wall. It's poke check free out to the red line, and here comes C.J. Banser. The lefty holds at the left circle. His shot deflects off the stick of Best. It's whopped off the near wall by Ames, and controlling it's Nichols. Left dot, wrist shot. Stick save made and a butterfly by Gedeke. It trickles to the near corner.
Was looking for Grote. He was crashing far side. Watched by two Cyclones. They took that pass away.
Banser controls. He flips it out to the red line. Best flags it down for the Wolverines. He controls as Iowa State makes a line change. Backhands it to Grote, past his stick. It's lobbed down by Colton Kramer. First to the puck, it's Grolum at the right half wall. Backhands it to Hansen. Works it up the half wall, but it's stick free by Brock Brecker over towards Grote. It's stick free and it's down. A delayed offside. The Wolverines control. Billy Brock controls, the righty stick handler out of Brookstown, Michigan. In the attacking zone, sends it over the best, holds right circle, a wrist shot deflected wide, it's steered to the far corner. A centering pass off the stick of Cooper deflected wide. It's held in by Nichols, left circle a shot, steered aside. Play still continues. Grote pitches it behind the net, it's dug out by Joey Marcicilli. Skying puck in the attacking zone. Uglum holds a backhander from the dot, deflected wide. The puck rolls out in front. Uglum tries another shot, and a sprawling glove save made by Proudlock.
Uglum taking a couple of shoves there. I mean, and a one-man show. He's watched there by two Wolverines. And, I mean, I guess he might be out to prove me wrong after I told everyone that Uglum was being watched carefully by a couple of Dearborn players.
The senior from Moorhead, Minnesota, scored 2 goals yesterday against Ohio. He looks to cap off what will be a career-best national tournament with a trip to the national championship. It's Adam Alcott taking a face-off for the Cyclones, and he wins it. Dances below the right goal line, drags on the backhand behind the net, looking to center it to Uglum at the flex wide. He holds right circle, a shot by Hansen, and a chest save made by Proudlock.
Squeezing the pads together. That one would have squeezed through 5-hole, but a good job by the goaltender and Proudlock to keep this netted up. We'll take another look at it right there, and an open shot from the face-off dot. Proudlock doing his best to keep this game going.
Since allowing the game-tying goal, Thomas Proudlock has faced 11 shots and has made 11 saves against these Cyclone skaters. It's Dylan Goggin taking a face-off against Tyler Dalton. Dalton wins it for the Wolverines. Plays it to Connor Cunningham, who flips it out to neutralize. A skittering puck. One touch by Marcicilli. And back in the Dearborn defensive zone, John Barlow. Marcicilli plays it red line, flips it to Sabo in the slot. Deflected wide by Cunningham. He tries to one-hand it to Dalton. Skittering puck, and here comes Michael Hodgson. A shot in the high slot. Steered aside by the captain, Nicholas Sandy. It rolls behind the net. And now up the boards, it's Sabo controlling at the red line. Flips it behind Proudlock. He plays it, rims it up the high glass and out to neutralize. Hodgson on a backhand controls at the red line. He smacks it far side, a race for the puck. Gedeke has to play it out of the crease past the streaking Tyler Dalton. And now here comes Iowa State Erickson. Right face-off dot, his shot gloved down by Proudlock, and he holds for a face-off. Boz, that's an interesting decision.
Yeah, he had a ton of room over there, but I think just looking at this right now, looking at the game, I think this is going to be one of those games where a weird goal is going to be the one in it. One of those low-angle shots that's going to come from the red line, and it's going to result in the game-winning goal. It just has that feel. It's a grinded-out feeling, a weird angle. Just throw it on net. That's what a lot of teams are doing right now.
Jared Erickson taking the face-off against Matthew LaForest. Erickson plays it forward, holding right circle. Hansen a shot. Chest save made by Proudlock, and the net comes off its hinges.
One of those things, a low-angle shot coming low on that red line. Proudlock had to tighten up that post, and this is one of those games where, you know, just there, not quite at the red line, but Proudlock coming over knocks the post off its mooring, so we'll reset and do this one more time.
The last 5 faceoffs have come in the Cyclone attacking zone. Adam Alcott taking a faceoff against Justin Dunn.
Interesting thing here, too, everyone on the Iowa State bench.
And the slot, a wrist shot, deflected wide rebound. And did it cross the line? No official word as of yet. Proudlock is sprawling past the goal line. The puck stays out as of now. Alcott on a sprawling backhander across the slot. Bobby Orr-esque, but it remains 2-2.
Well, as soon as I said that, Iowa State popped up. It's probably not going to be a review. The coaches aren't looking at it right now. I think they're okay with it. Of course, they do have an iPad. They're just looking at the replay.
Face-off won by Dearborn. It's controlled by Kyle Schnettler. The righty defenseman stretches the pass down the far side. It's controlled by Kyle Bouchard. In the high slot, nudged off the puck. He controls below the goal line. Pinned to the wall. Takes a couple checks. Justin Dunn plays it out to the point. Slap shot off a Schnettler stick. Careens off a body. It's smacked back in by Bouchard, but the Cyclones control out in front. Uglum can't clear the zone. Schnettler slaps it to the left circle. Spiegler holding at the hash, but it's freed up by Uglum. And he plays it out to neutral ice, and now back into the Iowa State D zone. Shots on goal in overtime, 6-7. 7-6 in favor of the Cyclones. Schnettler Ushers the puck in the attacking zone for the Wolverines. It rolls out to the right point. Delayed offside. Grote has to tap it in. And it's played by Kurt Hallback. Most of the scoring chances in this period have come from Iowa State. It's flipped back in by Nichols behind the net. Gedeke forced to play it. Grote can't maintain the zone. And here comes Sabo, one of 2 goal scorers tonight for Iowa State. Lost it. Here's Nichols, right circle, holds in the backhand. Wrist shot deflects off a sprawling Justin Paulson and up into the mesh.
Yeah, looking at this, Michigan still in the game. The whole bench standing up, aside for the players sitting down, getting the rest is coming off. But Michigan well into this game. They are up on the rails, hoping their team can turn this around.
Face-off comes into Dearborn attacking zone. It's Zachary Nichols taking the face-off against Dylan Goggin. Face-off won by Nichols. Holding at the right circle, Billy Brock. Holding on the backhand. Straight away to Connor Cunningham. Back to Brock. A wrist shot deflects through the slot. Grote had a chance to possibly backhand it home, but it still remains 2-2. Brock falls in the slot. It's controlled by Marcusili, but not out. Brock right circle at the hash mark. Plays it off the high wall. Nichols at the right circle. Careens on the backhand. Wheels down the far side. It's kept in by John Ames. The lefty defenseman, a backhand feed looking for Nichols. It's poke check free, and here come the Cyclones. Marcusili down to left boards. A wrist shot. Steered wide, stick side. It's dug out by Cunningham for the Wolverines. Pitchforks the puck out to the red line to Hodgson. He takes a huge hit at the boards as it's chipped in behind the net. Hodgson, who was sent into the bench earlier today, 3 goals in this tournament, has a chance to possibly come away as a hero, Paul Correa style. It's Jared Erickson, the lefty, stretching it near side. Adam Alcott whips it far corner. Tommy Hansen backhands it further into the Dearborn defensive zone. It's gunned down out to the red line. The captain, Nicholas Sandy, serves one on net. It's gloved down by Proudlock. Play still continues with Chase Best.
Yeah, Max Olson just came out of the bench for Iowa State. He's been out of the ice a long shift. He tried to come off earlier and just couldn't do it because of that long change.
Tyler Dalton, the centering pass deflects off of Uglam's stick. It rolls down the far corner. Dalton muscles it along the half wall, but Uglam pitchforks it out to the red line. It skitters into the Dearborn defensive zone. Race for the puck, won by Best. Alcott on a forward check, tries to jab it free. He does, down to left half wall. Pins it up the left point. It deflects off of Paulson's stick and back down into the Iowa State D zone. It's fetched by Kurt Hallback. Fired on net, stick the side by Proudlock, and he muscles it along towards Nick Azarovitz. 33-30 are shots on goal for Iowa State. The puck rolls down, Gedeke forced to play it. He chips it off the far wall. It's pitched over to C.J. Banser off the high glass. Rolling puck at the red, settled down by Andrew Spiegel. The lefty wheels back into the defensive zone. Drop feed to Schnettler. The junior from Metamora, Michigan, and the former Tulsa junior Oiler sets up the Dearborn offense. Trying a stretch pass for the captain, Bachard. It rolls down to Gedeke. It's kept in. Bachard trying to smack a shot at the red line. Here's one from Nicholas Zervos. It rolls wide. And now here comes Sandy, one of 2 goal scorers today for the Cyclones. Stretch pass looking towards Grolem. It bounces off his stick and into the mesh.
Yeah, Casey, things get a little chippy down here, especially on the long change. Both teams trying to get that game-winning goal, and especially that long change when they cross it. They're not letting people get back to the bench right now. It's getting a little hectic down here.
Erickson taking a face-off against LaForest. And LaForest wins it. Swats it to Troy Saunders. Guides it along to Kyle Schnettler. He gains the blue line. Over towards the far corner, it's Dawson Richard backhanding it in deep. It's Justin Paulson for the Cyclones clearing the zone, rimming the puck back into the Dearborn side. Nearly halfway through overtime. All scoring in this game has come from the first and third periods. The first time, actually, that Dearborn in this tournament has allowed a goal in either period number 1 and period number 3. It's chipped out but not gone. Tommy Hansen smacks the puck below the right goal line. Jacob Erickson wheels along the far near corner. He slugs it below the goal line looking for Grolem. It's chipped free and out to the red. Silas Johnson drop feed over to Dawson Richard. He gains the attacking zone. Dances past the defender but not past Paulson. He wraps it back over towards Tony Uglam Forecheck on by Dearborn. It rolls out to neutral ice. Ames flings one to the left of Gedeke, and Paulson controls. He reverses direction. Nicholas Sandy chips the puck off the high wall. Scrum for the puck. Sandy kicks it along and plays it to Adam Alcott. Stretch pass over towards Uglum. In the high slot. Right circle. Drags past the defender. Holds in the backhand. Wrist shot. Deflects wide. Sprawling save by Proudlock, and he holds action. Tony Uglum meandered in the attacking zone. Held on the forehand backhand, but Proudlock, the senior from Southgate, Michigan, preserves the tie. It remains 2-2.
Yeah, I think Uglum's attempt here is we're taking a look. We did just take a look at it. Pretty insanity. Other note here, no media timeout because we are in overtime and both teams don't have one.
So it's Goggin taking a face-off for Iowa State in the attacking zone, and he wins it. Plays it behind the goal line to Sabo. Drives down the far side. It's pitchforked ahead by Dearborn. Zachary Nichols can't move it ahead. Here's Goggin, right hash, drags below the goal line. Close-ended shot deflected wide, rebounded front, and another sprawling stop made by Proudlock.
Yeah, right now Proudlock he's giving up some big rebounds over there, and they're juicy. He's having to sprawl to reach out to it. So right now, taking another look at it, he did close off that post and then squirted out in front.
So it'll be Jared Erickson, the sophomore from Wapika, Wisconsin, for the Cyclones, taking a face-off against Tyler Dalton. Dalton wins it, but Grollam pushes it forward. Below the left goal line, wheels to the circle. A shot deflected wide off the stick of Bouchard. Rolling puck at the red line. Erickson serves it in. Behind the net, Proudlock first to play it. He rims it up the high wall. Michael Hodgson stretches it forward. Over towards Tyler Dalton. Meanders ahead to John Barlow. Right circle. A centering pass for Dalton. Pickpocketed away by Max Olson. He pins it to the far wall. A scrum for it. Two players from each side going at it down the left goal line. It's booted ahead by Olson. Barlow up the half wall. Grollam pickpockets it. But it's Tyler Dalton. Right circle. Has a stick tangled. And it's cleared out. Tommy Hansen one-hands it to the red line. Kevin Bouchard, who was robbed of a goal earlier in the period after a review, he holds right side. Drops it off to Justin Dunn. Centering pass into the high slot, looking towards Connor Cunningham. It rolls down. Schnettler plays it. Under 8 minutes to go here in overtime. The winner moves on to the national championship where they await the winner of Lindenwood and Minot State. Nicholas Sandy for the Cyclones in the defensive zone. Can't clear the zone. It's Justin Dunn playing a high puck. But now here comes Iowa State. Here's Alcott, past the red line, motors in the attacking zone. High slot, fans on a shot. Spiegel controls for Dearborn, a stretch pass to Grote. Holding at the left circle, on a dime, Arister deflects off a stick. It's dug out in the far corner by Alcott. Sky rimmed and skied up the glass. It's down, no icing.
Yeah, linesman rolling a high touch there. That's why we didn't have an icing.
It deflects off the left circle. Sabo has his shot deterred off the stick of Brock, and he motors ahead in the high slot. Dances past the defender, stops at the left dot. Centering pass far side, nobody home. And CJ Banzer stretches one across to Goggin. Right circle. Stops, fires. It's deterred wide. Brock behind the net. Plays it to Chase Bess. Pins it to the wall, reverses direction. Intercepted by Goggin. Plays it to the left point. Kept in by Kurt Hallback. Drives below the goal line. Drives down the half wall. And a shot chested down by Proudlock.
Yeah, Hallback, I guess we are getting an immediate timeout, so we'll take that break. Still in time. We're tied at 2 with 6:44 left in the first overtime. You're watching the ACHA Men's Division I National Championship semifinal on the ACHA Network.
The 2019 ACHA National Championships are brought to you by Aries Sportswear, official merchandise partner of the ACHA. Howie's Hockey Tape, the official tape provider of the ACHA. And the City of Frisco.
6:44 remaining in overtime. 2-2 our score. Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines and the Iowa State Cyclones. Casey Roll with you alongside Boz Echevarri. BE, it's been a topsy-turvy overtime periods. Both teams have had their scoring chances, but the face-off comes to the Iowa State attacking zone where they've really had some golden key opportunities.
Yeah, they definitely have. And it feels like ever since that second period, it's been all Iowa State.
Face-off won by Dearborn. It's chipped up the high wall by Tyler Dalton, trying to connect with Christopher Ramage. It rolls down behind the net of Gedeke. Race for the puck won by the Cyclones. Trevor Sabo works it up the near half wall, looking for Grolum. It's pinned below the goal line, controlled by Justin Paulson. Backhands it toward the far corner. CJ Banser clears the zone with a high skying attempt. It rolls underneath the stick of Sabo. Here comes the captain, Kevin Bouchard. In the high slot, the wrister turned aside to the near corner by Gedke. Dearborn controls. Bouchard drives up the half wall. Cross ice pass over toward the right point. Slap shot by Saunders, turned aside behind the net. It rolls down. Sabo controls for the Cyclones. One of 2 goal scorers tonight for Iowa State. Ambles past the red line, flips one on net. Proudlock gloves it down, and he resets for Troy Saunders. Backhands it up the half wall. Nichols unable to maintain the attacking zone, and it's Sandy. Nicholas Sandy, the captain out of Calgary, Alberta. Stretches one in the attacking zone. It's pitchforked away by Schnettler. Skying clearing attempt settled down by Joey Marcasili. Now the Wolverines out to the red. It's backhanded by Saunders. And a line change made by the Wolverines. Less than 5.5 to go in overtime. Shots on goal in the period in favor of Iowa State, 17-12. Nicholas Sandy with 2 assists in this overtime period. He had an assist on the first goal and he scored the second goal. But on a turnover, here's Grote below the goal line. A wrist shot, the flex off the post, and it trickles far side. It's cleared out by Adam Alcott. The best scoring opportunity of the game for either side, and Tyler Grote comes within millimeters of scoring the game-winning goal. It's down and an icing.
Unreal. Sometimes the post, the goalie's best friend right there. Michigan thought they had a goal. We take another look at this, and a shot that came down low. And I think, actually, from my view, it looked like it off the mask of the goaltender down on the other end. And, well, right now, still tied as we're creeping down to the final moments of the first overtime period.
Alcott wins the faceoff. A shot from Paulson from the point through traffic. Deflects wide to the near corner. It's Tony Uglum for the Cyclones, trying to muscle the puck out of the corner. He does, but it's intercepted by Connor Cunningham. Stretches the puck to Silas Johnson, who meanders past the red line in the attacking zone. Holds at the hash mark, a centering pass to Brock. It deflects wide. It careens into the near corner. Johnson, who had a couple assists in game one, tries to play it. It rolls out to the blue line, but past Nick Azarovitz. No goals for Dearborn since the first period. Iowa State's goals have come in the first and the third. Azarovitz on a forecheck, lost control of the puck. Sabo tries to play it out of the goal corner. Azarovitz still with it. He muscles it to Spiegel, smacks it out down to the near side. Justin Dunn able to keep it at the red line. Grolum plays it forward. Chase Best tries to meander his way in, and now here comes Grolum. Onside, 2-on-1. Right circle, a shot. Swaggered aside to the far corner by Proudlock. And Dearborn controls in an offensive zone. It's Best taking a huge hit at the red, but he gets one off near side. Bouchard holding left circle, a shot. Hits the skates of Andrew Spiegel, and now here come the Cyclones past the stick of Grolum. It rolls into the Dearborn D zone. A near turnover. It rolls past in the blue line, and now it's an offside, an easy call. Grolum was in the attacking zone as soon as Banser advanced in.
That was very close. It was rolling, and maybe just a hair, or maybe there wasn't a whole lot of space between that puck and the blue line as we take another look. As you can see that Proudlock's fighting that one off. 3:22.
Dearborn wins the faceoff. It's Kyle Schnettler stretching a pass, looking towards LaForest. It deflects wide, and icing is called on Sterling Cooper.
There's still one more semifinal game, but I think in the back of a lot of people's heads too is that there's the championship tomorrow night. And the further this game goes along in overtime, you think it might favor that whoever wins that second semifinal game.
LaForest wins the faceoff. It splits both Schnettler and Nichols. Schnettler has to play in the defensive zone on an aggressive forecheck by Andrew Lee. It careens up the high wall into Dearborn D zone. It's pitched back in deep by Erickson. Schnettler controlling on an aggressive forecheck for Iowa State. It caroms up the left goal line. It's Cooper stretching the pass out towards Saunders. The defenseman holds at the right hash mark. A wrist shot turned aside in the butterfly by Gedke. And Iowa State controlling Tommy Hansen, the righty stick handler, gets crunched down to near boards, and now we get a whistle and an offside.
Yeah, it was close though, but you take a check like that and you go into the zone without the puck, that's going to get called every time. That's a good back check by the Michigan defenders.
So 2:43 remaining here in overtime. The last thing on Dearborn's and Iowa State's mind is to play in 2 OT, but there's no goals scored in the next 163 seconds. That's exactly what we'll do. Spinning puck controlled by Alcott. Rolling at the red line. Stick check free by Uglum. He gains the attacking zone. Right hash mark drop feed to Alcott. He tries to backhand it to Paulson, and here comes Michigan. Zachary Nichols gains the blue line. Drop feed over to the far side. Grote centering feed back to Nichols at the flex wide to the far goal line. And it's check free by Paulson. He skies it out to the red line back into the Dearborn D zone. First to it, Connor Cunningham. Icing is washed. Another race for the puck and a battle for it. Cunningham wins it, but it rolls behind the goal line. Uglum a spinning feed, trying to connect with Robbie McLean. It rolls wide. It's kept in by Uglum, left circle. Arister to flex off the body, over the crossbar, behind the net. Kept in by John Ames. The lefty defenseman pins it to the end wall and muscles it over John Barlow. He gains the red line. Down the right side, puts on the brakes, and stops at the right point. Backhand feed looking for Best. It's pickpocketed wide, and here comes Jackson Grolum. Right circle, drags past the defender, fans on a shot. Now here comes Chase Best. Feeds it over towards Zorozovitz. Back to Best, in the high slot, at the left circle. His shot deflected wide. It's chapped up by Kurt Heimlich, and now here comes Banzer. A centering pass underneath the stick of Grolum. It rolls down the far side. Best plays
Yeah, it looks like those sticks got tied.
Best plays it off the high glass. It's gloved down by Nichols. A rolling puck. Here's Dickinson, a centering pass. Looking towards Lee, it deflected wide. Andrew Lee for the Cyclones. Pins it to the right goal line. Trying to kick the puck forward. It's guided down by Justin Dunn, but not out of the zone. 1 minute to go in overtime. Tommy Hansen behind the net. Pins a man to the boards, but it's stick free by Justin Dunn for the Wolverines. Chips it off the high glass. It rolls at the red line. Pitchforked in by Sandy. It's controlled by Schnettler. 38 to 33.
Couple of bad changes from Michigan that kind of led to that opportunity for Iowa State. But right now we're still tied.
Hodgson left circle at the hash mark, puts on the brakes, stops at the boards. Drop feed to the captain, Kevin Bouchard. A centering pass, nobody home at the blue line. Saunders forced to fire one from the red line. A blocker save made by Gedke, and he shakes his head afterwards. Now a face-off comes in the Wolverine attacking zone with just over 26 seconds left.
Heck of a hockey game there, huh, Casey?
I'll tell you what, BE, this next semifinal game is going to have a lot to live up to. We've got the Big Ten
like
crew.
Hockey at the college level, man. This is the right spot right now.
We've got the Big Ten crew here. Me and Cristiano Simonetta. You'll be doing game 2 between Lindenwood and Minot State. Off the face-off, here's Schnettler. Arister through a couple bodies. Stick save and a pad save made by Gedke. It rolls down the far side. Tap back in by Grote behind the goal line with just under 15 seconds to go. It's pinned to the wall by Max Olson for the Cyclones. A couple bodies fall to the ice. Time continues to expire. It's Kurt Hallback wheeling behind the net, looking for somebody with 5 seconds. He passed the red line, flips one on goal. It's stick free by Proudlock, and that'll do it for overtime. Through 80 minutes, the first national semifinal will head into double overtime. The first double OT game this entire tournament. And the number 2 Wolverines and number 5 Cyclones in the first meeting in 27 years, Boz, is not disappointing. Shots on goal, 39 to 34 in favor of the Cyclones through the OT period. Iowa State one national championship win. Dearborn's one appearance came back in 1992 where they lost to these Cyclones. Head coach Christopher Haltoner looks to rally the troops in the second overtime frame. Jason Fairman, this season with Iowa State, his best chance of winning a national championship. One of the crazier games he has had in his ACHA career. 2-2 after overtime. Don't go anywhere. It'll be a great finish to semifinal number one. We'll step aside. When we return, our overtime intermission report on the ACHA network.
Well, I'm guessing you didn't expect to see us again, but here we are, back for a first intermission ACHA update here, as we are all locked up at 2, as 80 minutes of hockey hasn't been enough to decide anything.
Yeah, it's been a great game so far, and even though we had the extra 20 minutes, we get more free hockey, and while a lot of you at home are excited about another, crazy period upcoming, I'm sure that a lot of the fans here and both of the teams are eager to find a winner.
Yeah, it's got to be, you're clutching the stick hard if you're on the ice. Goalies want to be extra sure, and sometimes that's the problem. You get so tight and are going so hard for perfect that you end up making the mistake that leads to the goal. And I think that's probably got to be some of the messages that are going on in the locker room.
Yeah, I think, you kind of refer to like as hero play, right? You overextend yourself. You want to be the guy that gets the goal. And while that's great, you also have to remember to do your job. You got to make sure that you're back checking, that you're making the correct passes, that you're not forcing the issue, because the issue becomes a turnover and a 2-on-1. And during that last 5 minutes, we saw a lot of that, is that Iowa State started to develop a little bit of 2-on-1 odd man rushes. And when that pace of play starts happening, that's where you're going to find your goal more likely than not. So you don't want to overextend yourself, and instead of being the hero, you end up costing your team something.
Yeah, and speaking of the final 5 minutes in Iowa State has really kind of controlled that overtime. We talked a lot about in the beginning how, wow, Dearborn controlled it. After the Iowa State goal, it was all Dearborn. And they got the 2 goals. And then in that overtime, it turned. Shots, I believe, were 15-9 in favor of Iowa State, or excuse me, 15-5, I think, in favor of Iowa State. They really found their legs. They were carrying the play to the number 2 team in this tournament.
Yeah, a quick glance up at the scoreboard shows that Iowa State is out shooting Michigan-Dearborn a complete 180, 39-35 right now. And I'm sure that the watch party on Welch Ave in Ames, Iowa is just waiting on pins and needles for that Cyclone goal, because you could just kind of feel it in the air. It really did think that they were going to get it there. And, if they keep peppering Proud Luck with shots, I think it's going to go. To me, Proud Luck did not really look exactly confident there. I know that he doesn't want to make a mistake, and he just looked shaky to us here up in the booth. I'm sure that his teammates have all the faith in the world in him, but it certainly looked like the Cyclones were going to get it. I think that it's great Michigan-Dearborn gets to go to the locker room, kind of talk it over, a little decompression before coming out here on fresh ice.
Yeah, you talked about Proud Luck there. We'd be remiss not to talk about Godecki. He gives up the 2 goals. I don't think he had a chance on either of them in the first, and he has been grade A stellar since.
Yeah, Godecki really keeping the Cyclones into this game. Like you said, he got screened on the one, he's on the power play on another, just really not giving him a lot of room. And then since then, his angles have been tight. He hugs his post, the rebound control, it's all there. Everything that you want to see, just good fundamentals from him, and it looks like it's going to be really tough to sneak one past him right now.
Yeah, it's funny because, we do a lot of, preparation for these games so that we can bring you the best stuff possible, and so you can know what's going on about the team that you may not be watching about. And we were looking at this final 4 teams. Statistically, in the regular season, Godecki was the worst of the 4 goaltenders that we were expected to see a lot. Well, he comes into this game with a 1 goals against average, a save percentage of almost 97, and now he's played 4 periods of this one, only giving up 2, and that save percentage probably going to go up or close to going up, and even if it goes down, it's going to go down to like .96, which is unheard of.
Right, and oftentimes in the playoffs, you get the term, you got to ride the hot goalie, right? So just all he has to do is win, of course tonight and tomorrow, but 4 games. Do you think that your goalie could get you 4 games? Do you think that he could do that? Clearly the Cyclones say yes, and right now it's working, and when you're hot, you're hot.
Yep, and that's exactly right. We each have already picked our guy who's going to score, so that is already taken care of. You have the man, Tyler Grote, and we call him the man just because he scored once today. He's got 6 goals, 1 assist, 7 points in the tournament. That leads both in goals and points. I took one of his running mates on like a rebound. I have Billy Brock. For Iowa State, you have?
I'm not quite sure, so maybe I can switch it up. No, I'm just kidding. I took the hero in last night's game. I took Tony Uglum. He had the game-winning goal, and you see these guys. We were tracking their minutes out there. They're going head-to-head. They both probably logged, I think, at least 10 minutes of work or pretty close to it in that overtime, which after 60 minutes of play, just going for that long in an overtime period, these guys have to be absolutely gassed. But sometimes when you're players of their calibers, that when you're leaders of your team, you just kind of put that behind you, and just even when you're running on fumes, right now they're running on just pure untapped adrenaline.
Absolutely right. And I, for the record, did pick Trevor Sabo. He got the first, or excuse me, it was Nick's. Yeah, Sabo got the first goal for the Cyclones, so I had him scoring 2 goals tonight, and really, it could be anybody. And that's the great thing about this, is that sometimes, you know, you get an offensive zone draw, so you're going to throw the fourth line out there to try to give your top 3 a rest, and the top 4 is so fresh because they've played less minutes,
right?
And they end up being the hero. Anybody on the 18-man roster can be the hero today.
Right. Well, and if you follow NHL hockey and you follow a man, John Butchergross, you are very aware of the hashtag Butchie Overtime Challenge, where when a game in the playoffs goes to overtime, you get on your Twitter, you pick a person from both sides, just like we have here. So it's our own ACHA Overtime Challenge that we're doing here. Yep. But a lot of times you'll see it's not going to be a guy like a Stamkos or someone like that. It's someone from the 3rd or 4th line that can come in and be a hero. And quite frankly, that's what's gotten these teams here, right? Is they play as teams. You don't get this far into the tournament playing with just relying on one guy like a Tyler Grote. He's, like you said, he's got the Billy Brocks. He's got Kevin Richard, the captain. You go down the lines of both of these teams, and they're chock full of great players.
Yes, they are, folks. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have more on the ACHA Overtime Intermission.
Iowa State was the place where Derek began his adventure.
Derek was one of the first students in the industrial design program.
Our apartment together was a design studio. A light bulb went off one day. I think he thought, I can design sneakers.
Derek's first study abroad experience, in fact, was in Rome.
He was able to go to London.
Did an internship in Germany.
Internship in New York City.
He designed in Chicago, and now he's on his way to design in California.
To see the excitement in Derek's face when he was moving to California is amazing. For Derek, it's a dream come true.
Enjoy your adventure at Iowa State. Visit chooseyouradventure.net.
Come on! You know the answer. You studied for this. Come on. Timmy! Come on, Timmy. You got this, son. Pencil to paper. Focus. Come on, Timmy. Focus. Focus. Take the puck. There you go. Skate! Skate! Pass it! You call that a pass? What are you doing? You missed the puck! Come on!
I'm Thomas, that's Ryan. This is the ACHA First Overtime Intermission Update. Ryan, before we kick it on back to the guys calling this one, give us a final thought on what you expect to see going forward.
I think with a little bit of a break, both teams are going to come out flying out of the gates, right? Everybody wants to play the hero. I think that we will not make it to our first media timeout. Okay. That's going to be my prediction. So, you know, that first whistle after the 10-minute mark, I think we'll find a winner earlier than expected, to be honest. I think that both teams just have such good firepower. Cyclones were working it really well. They were close at the end there. Dearborn with a lot of shots towards the end. I don't think that this one's going to go on much longer, and I think we're going to see a big celebration from one of these benches.
Well, yeah, you know, I can't quote the site, so I mean, take it with a grain of salt. If I wish I could go back and tell you who said it and when they said it, about what league, but there is something about the first 5 minutes or the last 5 minutes of an overtime session where that's where the goals are scored. And those goals are scored because you're fresh, or you're worn out at those points. You got that little extra jump and you want to end it, or you've been out there a minute long and you just cannot do it anymore, and that's when you make that mistake. And so that's what it will be interesting to see. You're calling your shot in the first 10 minutes. I completely believe it. Folks, hopefully we'll see you with a post-game show. If not, we're going to see you with a second overtime intermission update. Thank you so much for joining us here on the ACHA Overtime Intermission Update. Let's go ahead and send it back to the boys.
Back in Frisco, 80 minutes are not enough. We will play another 20 to determine who will move on to the ACHA Division I National Championship game. Number 2, University of Michigan-Dearborn Wolverines, and the number 5 Iowa State Cyclones, a matchup 27 years in the making, a rematch of the 1992 ACHA D1 National Championship, and it has not disappointed. Glad you could join us. Casey Roll along with Boz Echeverry. 2 minutes, 40 seconds remaining before we begin the second overtime. Just a quick recap for those who weren't able to join us throughout the earlier parts of the game. 2 goals in the first period scored by Tyler Grote. His 6th goal. He has 6 goals in the national tournament. And Boz Echeverry, he has been phenomenal. Something that we'll definitely take a watch on if Grote can score his first national tournament hat trick. The goals for Iowa State came from Nicholas Sandy. The game-tying goal, the first one scored by Trevor Sabo. So the alternate and the captain, both in their senior seasons, looking to continue this miraculous run and possibly dancing on to an ACHA national tournament. If you miss any action, be sure to catch ACHA Tonight on achahockey.org. Recaps, highlights, analysis, and more on ACHA Tonight, streaming live on achahockey.org. Our own Matt Koma, along with special guests, talk about action in Division I hockey, D2 hockey, and the Division III tournament set to begin tomorrow, along with the ACHA national title game. In the Division I pool, the winner of today's game takes on Lindenwood and Minot State. What a year that Minot State has had, defeated the runners-up and the national champions from last season in Illinois and Adrian College. Our own Cristiano Simonetta and Quinn Kuski will have the call in the second semifinal game. Cristiano and I going double duty on Big Ten announcers going. I'm an Indiana kid, and Cristiano, a former Illinois Fighting Illini journalism student, so going double duty here in the national tournament semifinal. Shot after 2 overtimes, 39-34 in favor of Iowa State over the Wolverines, an overtime period which has really benefited the Cyclones. And Boz Echeverry, if Iowa State is to come away with a win, they have to do what?
Right now, they kind of have to keep doing what they're doing. I think they've played great in this overtime period. But the thing, too, is that there's a couple of stats saying that overtime goals usually happen in the first 5 minutes, last 5 minutes of an overtime period. Just something about coming out hot. Whoever comes out hotter, whoever kind of can last those 20 minutes, usually the reason why someone does get that goal. It should be a great second overtime period. But there's a 5th period up on that board right now. Insane. Should be some great hockey. I'm looking forward to it. Casey, right back up to you.
Well, Boz, I'm looking forward to it. You're looking forward to it. We're all looking forward to it. Are you ready? How you living? It's the second overtime period between Dearborn and Iowa State. The Cyclones control the attacking zone. Right point, it rolls underneath the stick of Kurt Hallback. And here come the Wolverines. Spiegel on a breakaway, a wrist shot. Chested wide. Rebound by Bouchard. Turn the side to the near corner by Matt Godecke. The senior has been phenomenal tonight for the Cyclones. It's turned the side to the near corner. It's controlled by Iowa State. Adam Alcott wraps the puck to the far side. Tony Uglum chops it over towards Joey Marcasili. He controls Uglum, a backhand shot. Swagger the side off the chest of Proudlock to the far corner. It rolls out to the red line. Iowa State controls. It's smacked out to the red. Tyler Grote, both goals tonight for Dearborn. Lobs it down the far corner. It's dug out by Dylan Goggin. The sophomore forward from Red Wing, Minnesota, gallops along the red line. Lost it. It checks off a stick. It caroms off the high glass, and behind the net, Godecke. Goggin first to it. A shot from the right circle by Brock, deflected wide. It's tapped out by Justin Paulson back into the Dearborn defensive zone. 2 goals for Grote in the first period, 1 for Sabo. in the first, and a game-tying goal by Nicholas Sandy with less than 5 minutes to go in the third for Iowa State. It's Joey Marcicilli firing a shot from the red line, deflecting off a stick. First to the puck for the Wolverines, it's Connor Cunningham. Pins the puck to the far wall, backhanded by Michael Hodgson, who had left earlier in the game, had gone to the locker room to get checked on by training staff after a huge hit, but he's back out on the ice. It hits off the side of the glass. It's controlled by John Barlow. Left half mark, fans on a shot. Hodgson down the far wall, pins it to the glass, back over to Barlow. It taps up off the high wall and back below the left goal line. Dug out by Tyler Dalton. Glides up the half wall, backhands it in deep. It's Hodgson playing it right hash. Swats it off the end wall to himself. Drag it on the backhand, puts on the brakes behind the net. Pirouettes past the defender, holding left side. Dalton, a centering pass looking for Barlow, deflected wide. It caroms into the slot, and it's carried forward by Andrew Lee, who swats it down the length of the ice and back into the Dearborn D zone.
Yeah, that thing with that, there was about two Cyclone defenders in the area. Kind of, you don't want to say an ill-advised pass because anytime you throw it to the slot, a good idea. It might go on net, but a low percentage opportunity.
Here comes Silas Johnson, a shot deflected wide off a stick. And it caroms down the far wall. It's checked forward on a sliding play made by Adam Alcott. Skittering puck at the red line, picked up by Max Olson. He guns it down on net. It deflects off the stick in front. A backhander by Azarowitz. No, it's kept up by Uglum. A backhand feed out to the right point. One-timer by Hallback. Deflects wide. They score! On a deflection in front. Iowa State's moving on to the national championship game. The Cyclones come storming out of their bench. 2 unanswered goals to end it. And Iowa State, 27 years after defeating Dearborn in a national title game, they dance on for a chance to win their second ever tourney title. A shot deflected in front. Uglum played it on the backhand out to the right point. It was hammered by Hallback, and off a deflection, the Cyclones continue on to the national championship. A deflection by Colton Kramer, the senior from Sioux City, Iowa, with his first ever national championship game goal, has put Jason Fairman and company back in the national tournament. Dearborn comes one overtime short, 21-1 this season. Thomas Proudlock turns in a 38-save performance, but he's outdone by Matt Godeke, the senior and the transfer from Midland University. Will the Cyclones in net? He turned in a 34-save performance, a new tournament high for Godeke after saving 33 shots in yesterday's win against the Ohio Bobcats. The overtime winner scored by Colton Kramer. And with that, we go down ice side to Baz Echevarri with Kramer.
Colton Kramer, number 1, congratulations on your first national tournament goal. Number 2, congratulations on getting to the national championship final. How's that feel?
Unbelievable. I mean, heck of a game. There's 2 overtime periods. I mean, you can't ask for anything else. Hell of a game by them, too. Everybody played really well. Just a lot of fun to be out there tonight.
Yeah, it wasn't mean going for you and the rest of the group going to the national championship, being a part of that tournament, man. What does that mean to you, the group of guys, everyone at Iowa State, man?
It means a lot, especially my class. We came in our freshman year. We made it to the national championship game as well. So we're looking to do better than we did last time and win it this year.
Yeah, Godeke, your goalie. He's one more question before we let you go celebrate in West Suffern tomorrow night. What is having a goaltender like him? He's been marvelous since that first period and just basically pitching a shutout since then. What does it mean having a backstop like that behind you guys?
I mean, it's unbelievable. You saw him. He's lights out all weekend, and that's what you need when you're making a run in the playoffs. So it's been unbelievable.
All right, congratulations. Best of luck tomorrow, man.
Thanks a lot.
All right, take care. Casey, back up to you, man.
All right, thanks, Boz. It's a wild turn of events. Iowa State comes back to score 2 unanswered goals after falling down 2-1 with less than 5 minutes to go in the game. But the number 5 seed Cyclones storm into the national championship where they await the winner of the number 1 seed Lindenwood and number 6 Minot State. Our own Cristiano Simonetta and Quinn Kuski will have the call for you on the ACHA network. Final shots on goal, 41-36 in favor of Iowa State. And the only team who had not outshot every opponent they had played in the national tournament outshoots the team who had averaged the most shots on goal in the 2019 ACHA Nationals. We'll send it to break. When we return, Thomas Biondo and Nick Jones will have our post-game coverage, double overtime. So Iowa State goes dancing to the national championship. You're watching the 2019 American Collegiate Hockey Association Division I National Championships on the ACHA Network. Casey Rolls saying goodbye from Frisco.
Hockey heads are special, which is why we protect them with a helmet designed, built, and tested to endure real-world hockey impacts.
And for the second straight year, the 5 seed has advanced to the national championship. It was Illinois last year, and the Iowa State Cyclones get the game winner 3-0 in. They are playing tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolute madness here at the Comerica Center in Frisco, Texas. The Cyclones are dancing their way to the national championship.
Thank you for no crazy pun like they're storming the ice or anything like that. You avoided that, and I'm glad.
I'm now regretting that I didn't.
Well, I'm very happy with you. By the way, that's Ryan Jones. I'm Thomas Biondo. What can we say? It was a great game, fantastic game. Dearborn controls the early going. It switches to Iowa State kind of in the overtime, and they come out, and Colton Kramer's the hero. He had 11 goals in the regular season, and his 12th goal of the season, because he hasn't, first one of the playoffs, is probably the biggest one of his career.
Yeah, first goal of the playoffs. He had an assist already in the tournament, but I mean, this has got to be the highlight of his hockey career so far, because I bet you in 24 hours, if the Cyclones do become the ACHA Men's Divisional I National Champions, that'll probably overtake it. But nonetheless, being able to know that the puck went off your stick to send your team to the national championship, the kid's living on cloud 9 right now. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I can't imagine. And who should be on like cloud 8.5 is Tony Uglum. With the game that he played, the playoffs that he has had, or the tournament that he has had, he has been fantastic. He got the lone assist on the goal. And really, Iowa State isn't this far without Tony Uglum.
Yeah, Tony Uglum putting the team on his back, just does everything for this Cyclone team. He generates offense, he plays great defense, and it was his clap bomb that got directed by Kramer into the back of the net. You also got to be feeling great. It was a great, by the way, it was a great tip by Kramer, as you saw on the replay there. That shot was going well wide. And unfortunately, Prodluck, the losing goaltender tonight, but he certainly did not have a chance. Just a great redirect. You know, you practice that stuff all year round. It's just textbook hockey at this level. Just put things towards the net, let your forwards get their bodies in front, and Cyclones, like we said, they're moving on to tomorrow.
So for our fourth or fifth straight time, I think we'd be remiss not to mention the work that Godecki did in this game.
Yeah, Godecki definitely keeping them in, stopping that firepower for Michigan-Dearborn to solidify the upset. He did let in the 2 goals. Not necessarily you can blame his fault. I don't think you can blame him for that.
Agreed.
You know, he played outstanding. If we're handing out 3 stars, we're gonna go ahead and probably give it to Kramer for the game winner. But you'd be remiss to say that Godecki probably getting that number 2 star of the game.
And probably Uglum's the third, to tell you the truth.
I would agree.
I mean, it was Proudlock again. He had a great game. U of M Dearborn had a great season. A credit to them. They get to this tournament at 22-1, I believe, in the ACHA. They played 2 great games here, and they played a really good game here. Just couldn't quite get over the top.
Yeah, it is a shame that the Wolverines had to face the Cyclones, right? Because we would love for this game, a double overtime game, to cap the season. But no, we got some more hockey that's starting to warm up behind us here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that game too. It should be fantastic as Minot State plays against Lindenwood, and kind of different roles than last year. Lindenwood was the higher seed. Minot, I believe, came in as the 1 or 2. Pressure was on. They were unable to advance to the championship game. They will now look to flip the script this year and see if they can't win themselves a national championship. But first, they got to beat a very good Lindenwood team.
Yeah, Lindenwood coming in here at the 30-1 record. It's going to be an absolute great matchup. I expect it to be a slugfest. Both these teams evenly matched. They faced off against each other already in the regular season, so looking forward to that one as we come up next.
Folks, and as my man Ryan Jones just said, that is coming up next. They're already on the ice warming up. Thank you so much for joining us. Coming up next, it'll be the Lindenwood Lions and the Minot State Beavers. Thank you so much for joining us for the ACHA overtime and post-game show. Have a good night. Stay tuned and watch this one, though.
Good call, man.
Love it, man.